My mother forced me to donate a kidney. Jiang Feng traveled through a parallel world. He was a top student with a bright future. But he didn't expect his remarried mother to come and ask me to donate a kidney to save her son. I refused. My stepfather forced me to do so. At this time, the system awakened and started to obtain top companies. I will pay you back 100-fold for the harm you have done to me. Jiang Feng's face was gloomy. Revenge is just the beginning. Chapter 1, Their Worst Mother. You're my biological mother, and if it were you needing a kidney, I would donate it to you without hesitation, as a way to repay the gift of life you gave me. But to donate to a sperm donor, absolutely not. Slap. The crisp sound of a slap echoed through their hallway. The woman, dressed elegantly, wore an expression filled with anger. On Jiang Feng's face, there were 5 clear thumbprints. That sperm donor is your biological brother. How could you, a high achiever, say such things? Your intelligence can't change your lowly nature. Lin Meili's face was filled with fury. How did she end up with such an ungrateful son? She knew her younger son was suffering from kidney failure and needed Jiang Feng's kidney to survive, yet this ungrateful son refused to help. He even called his brother a sperm donor. Did you really think you're some kind of important person? I won't even touch you. Lin Meili felt disgusted and immediately pulled out a tissue to wipe her hands, as though she had touched trash. The more she thought about it, the more she believed that her decision years ago was the right one. He is my half-brother, not my full-blooded brother, so calling him a sperm donor is wrong. Jiang Feng scoffed. He showed no signs of weakness. This woman abandoned her husband and son for wealth and ran off without a trace for many years. Just a few days ago, she showed up out of the blue and demanded that Jiang Feng donate a kidney. She even shamelessly said that a person could live with just one kidney. And offered him $1 million as compensation. Har! Why didn't they donate a kidney themselves if they believed it was no big deal? With all that money, why not just buy a kidney from someone else? The more Jiang Feng thought about it, the angrier he became, and he couldn't hide his contempt. Lin Meili's face grew even more hostile, and she raised her hand to slap him again. Just as she was about to strike, a voice from a middle-aged man in a custom-made suit interrupted. What gives you the right to dirty your hands with him? This man was Jiang Feng's stepfather, Song Rantian. He glared at Jiang Feng with cold eyes. Jiang Feng, you donating a kidney to my son is a favor that others can't even dream of. Don't refuse it. Song Rantian moved closer to Jiang Feng, patted his shoulder as though in a gesture of concern, but his words were icy cold. Killing you would be as easy as squashing an ant. Losing your job is just the beginning. If you keep being disobedient, do you believe I can make you disappear without a trace? Jiang Feng stood there, his expression dark and unreadable. He had transmigrated to this parallel world. The original Jiang Feng had the same name as him, but his life as an orphan had been different. His mother, Lin Meili, ran off after giving birth to him, and his biological father was a gambling addict who abandoned him as well. Jiang Feng had survived by collecting scrap metal, working hard to study. He had long ago planned his life. Through his hard work, he had gained admission to a top university. He was finally on the path to a new chapter in life, leaving his past behind. But then, his mother Lin Meili suddenly showed up with her man and demanded that Jiang Feng donate a kidney. They didn't even have the decency to beg properly. They acted as if it were his privilege to donate. She treated her 2 sons so differently, one on a pedestal, the other crushed into the dirt. So Jiang Feng refused. This money could save you 10 years of hard work if you donate a kidney to my son. Song Rantian then shoved a check for 1 million into Jiang Feng's pocket. Jiang Feng looked up, seeing the condescending look in Song Rantian's eyes. You brat, this money is yours. And the doctor said you can live with just one kidney. You should be thanking us. These well-meaning words were nothing but nails on a chalkboard to Jiang Feng. I have hands and feet, and a job. I don't need your charity. Without hesitation, Jiang Feng tore up the check and threw the pieces in their faces. Donate a kidney? Absolutely not. He didn't believe he couldn't earn $1 million on his own. Seeing Jiang Feng's wild reaction, Lin Meili cursed as she left with her man. But after they left, strange things started happening. First, Jiang Feng's little donkey was always deflated, nearly causing accidents on the road. When he returned home, the locks on his door were damaged multiple times. If he got home early, he could find someone to fix it. But if he was late, he had no choice but to sleep in the hallway. And replacing the locks was expensive. He had to live on instant noodles for meals. Things only got worse. They even seemed to want to resort to physical violence. They even mentioned making him disappear. In his past life, Jiang Feng had heard that money could make people do whatever they wanted. There were countless cases of hiring killers, dealing in organs. Killing for organs. They could definitely do it. You think you can just kill me? Jiang Feng's rage flared up. Do you really think I can never turn my life around? 30 years on the east side of the river, 30 years on the west side. Don't bully the poor youth. Sooner or later, I'll make you regret what you did today. Jiang Feng swore to himself. He would return everything they had done to him. He would crush the injustices they had forced on him. The resentment he felt reached a boiling point. Ding. Host's resentment value is at 100%. Emotion lottery system has been activated. As long as their host has emotions, they can win rewards such as luxury cars, mansions, and companies through the lottery. Additionally, every time their host hurts someone, they will get an extra draw. Just as Jiang Feng's anger peaked, a voice suddenly rang out in his mind. A system. He had seen such things in novels before, so he knew what it was. He had thought that transmigrating would be nothing but suffering. But now, it seemed that the heavens were still watching over him. Host's resentment value is 100%. Would you like to proceed with the draw? The system's voice interrupted Jiang Feng's thoughts. Did he even need to ask? Jiang Feng decisively chose to draw. At the same time, he felt a bit nervous. Just then, the system's voice sounded again. Drawing. Successful. Congratulations to their host for winning 100% ownership of Sky Dome Corporation. Chapter 2, Beautiful Lady, Who Are You Looking For? The Chincheon Company. It was a rising company that had emerged in recent years. In just 3 years, it had surpassed countless enterprises and ventured into the real estate sector. Though its foundation wasn't solid, its momentum was undeniable. Even though his stepfather, Song Rantian, had a partnership with Chincheon Company, he was nothing in comparison to them. Song Rantian had inherited his family business, but he didn't dare utter a word in front of Chincheon Company. That's because Chincheon Company was the client. The title client father wasn't given for no reason. This is great. As he looked at the information about Chincheon Company provided by the system, Jiang Feng's plans began to take shape in his mind. What an effortless stroke of luck! It's as if he had stumbled upon it without even trying. Didn't they think they were so tough? They even talked about making him disappear from the face of the earth. Now, Jiang Feng was about to see who was stronger. Just as Jiang Feng was planning in his mind, his phone suddenly rang. He instinctively picked it up and saw an unknown number. After hesitating for a moment, he answered the call. He had been expecting to be harassed by Lin Meili, but instead, a young woman's voice spoke on the other end. Mr. Yi, the company has just been fully acquired by you. There are several documents that require your signature. The woman's voice was soft and sweet, with a hint of coquettishness, making Jiang Feng feel a little uncomfortable. To his surprise, just after being fired and threatened, he had suddenly become the main client of his stepfather. The feeling was exhilarating. I'm not too familiar with the company. Could you bring the documents over to me? Jiang Feng said without rushing. After hearing his voice, the woman responded respectfully, would it be convenient for Mr. Yi to add me on WeChat and send your location? Her attitude was extremely respectful. Jiang Feng didn't hesitate to add her and sent his location. On the other side, at Chincheon Company, a woman dressed in a small blazer and tight skirt with flesh-colored stockings hung up the phone. Her delicate face showed a hint of nervousness. The person beside her quickly asked, so, is Mr. Yi, the one who fully acquired Chincheon, coming to the company? After all, the company had been running well, and suddenly being fully acquired by someone left everyone feeling uneasy. Although Chincheon Company had only been established for a few years, it already employed over 100 people and had several billion-dollar projects. The person who could fully acquire Chincheon Company was undoubtedly a big shot beyond their imagination. Facing the curious gazes of others, Lin Li took a deep breath. Mr. Yi asked me to report to him in person. After speaking, she immediately grabbed the documents and dialed the internal phone. Soon, a Rolls-Royce Phantom parked downstairs. Lin Li got into the car and began directing the driver. However, when they reached the location, both of them were surprised. No one had expected that the man who had spent a huge sum to acquire Qinqiang Company, Mr. Yi, would be living in such an ordinary place. Lin Li's eyes flashed with surprise. But she quickly composed herself. Meanwhile, at home, Jiang Feng was playing with his phone when he suddenly heard a knock on the door. He looked through the peephole and saw Lin Li, dressed in a white blazer, standing outside. He opened the door. "Come in," Jiang Feng greeted her. Lin Li was clearly surprised. She had thought that someone who could acquire Qinqiang Company would at least be in their 30s, but the young man in front of her looked to be in his 20s. Moreover, his scholarly air suggested he had just graduated from college not long ago. Especially when she saw the environment he lived in, Lin Li couldn't help but feel a little doubtful. Is this the new trend for rich young masters? Although curious, Lin Li quickly composed herself and stepped inside. Though Jiang Feng kept his place clean, the peeling walls and the bare cement floor gave the impression of a rundown apartment. "Please, have a seat," Jiang Feng said as he observed Lin Li, who seemed startled by her surroundings. It was expected. Just a few hours ago, he had been a poor guy who was almost sold for a kidney, but now he was the one in charge of Qinqiang Company. Quite a turnaround, wasn't he it? "Mr. Yi, here are the documents that the company needs you to sign," Lin Li said as she sat on the old leather sofa, respectfully handing over the papers. Jiang Feng took the documents and, upon glancing at them, saw the name Jiling Company. This was the company where he had worked before. The memory of his previous boss firing him without reason and withholding his last month's salary made Jiang Feng's anger flare up. But he didn't show it on the surface. Instead, he flipped to the next contract. After about half an hour, Jiang Feng understood the contracts. Jiling Company had a design contract with Qinqiang Company. He knew that his firing had been orchestrated by the head of the design department. Now, Jiang Feng couldn't help but smile coldly. He had been unjustly fired without reason, but as the client, didn't Qinqiang Company have the right to fire the design department head without explanation? Jiang Feng silently plotted his next move. He was just getting started. "Mr. Yi, how about we go to the company together to take a look?" Lin Li asked, sensing Jiang Feng's quiet contemplation. "Okay," Jiang Feng agreed. Downstairs, a Rolls-Royce Phantom worth millions was parked with a crowd gathered around it. In Shanghai, even ordinary people recognized luxury cars. Naturally, they were curious about why such a car had come to their area. At that moment, Jiang Feng and Lin Li came downstairs together. "Mr. Yi, please," the driver quickly got out and respectfully opened the car door for him. Jiang Feng got into the car. The comfortable leather seats, the beautiful starry ceiling, and the soothing fragrance filled the car. Was this the life of a rich person? Jiang Feng squinted his eyes, feeling a sense of contentment. At that moment, Lin Li sat beside him. Whether by accident or design, her smooth skin brushed lightly against Jiang Feng's hand. "Mr. Yi." Lin Li's soft voice began to describe Qinqiang Company, from the number of employees to the industries they cooperated with. From her words, Jiang Feng learned that the car he was in was the company's exclusive vehicle for the chairman. While it was technically company property, it was essentially his. Not only that, but with Qinqiang Company now in real estate, there were numerous properties in the company's name: garden villas, duplexes, and so on. Jiang Feng knew that if he wanted to, he could move out of his old, rundown building at any time. But the timing wasn't right yet. The game of cat and mouse had just begun. Chapter 3, Disgusting Faces. Time flies, days passing in the blink of an eye. 3 days quickly went by. Inside a skyscraper in the third ring of the Magic City, employees of Qinqiang Corporation were working. Lin Li walked into the chairman's office holding some documents. She saw Yifeng, who was immersed in reading papers, and simply placed the documents down before leaving. Not long after she left, Yifeng raised his head, his eyes gleaming with sharpness. After these few days, he had figured out his situation. The company's real estate assets were worth 300 million, and there were over 80 million in liquid funds. Other projects were still unfinished, so they couldn't be counted yet. Although Qinqiang was a new company, the potential profits it could bring were definitely significant. "As long as I use this well, I will make sure to reclaim all the humiliation from the past." Yifeng's mind was set. When work ended, he didn't take the company vehicle home but opted for the subway instead. After all, he wasn't yet sure how to take down his stepfather, so he still had to play along and mislead the others. However, Yifeng didn't expect that as soon as he arrived at his building, he would see a young man in a t-shirt and beach shorts. "Hey, Yifeng. Long time no see." The man greeted him with a cheerful smile. It was Zhang Hao, his childhood neighbor. Yifeng had often played at Zhang Hao's house when he was younger. "Zhang Hao, what brings you here today?" Yifeng greeted him naturally, but internally, he felt puzzled. When Yifeng was in the Magic City for school, he had met Zhang Hao. Perhaps due to growing up, the connection between them wasn't as close as it once was, and they had gradually lost contact. Now, Zhang Hao's unexpected visit made Yifeng more alert. But Zhang Hao, completely at ease, followed Yifeng upstairs and into his apartment. After looking around, he clicked his tongue. "Why are you staying here and suffering?" Zhang Hao's words seemed to carry hidden meaning. Yifeng immediately realized that this friend was here as a negotiator. "Would you sell yourself out if you were in my shoes?" Yifeng spoke without hesitation, now that he understood Zhang Hao's real intentions. 1 million for a kidney, what's the big deal? If anyone wants mine, I'd give it to them without a second thought. Zhang Hao grinned, but his words were appalling. Hearing his casual tone, Yifeng felt a pang of disgust. What if I refuse? Yifeng was curious to see what actions Zhang Hao would take in the face of money, knowing that this neighbor once helped him through many difficulties. "Don't be like that." When Yifeng remained unmoved, Zhang Hao's smile faded, replaced by a more sinister look. "Your stepfather said that if I can convince you to donate a kidney, he'll give my family 200,000. Think about it, your old gambling-addicted father wouldn't even feed you. If it weren't for our family, would you have anything today?" There was an unmistakable hint of repaid favor in his words. So it turned out that 200,000 could change their demeanor completely. Yifeng sneered internally. "I may have eaten your family's leftovers, but I also cleaned your house and tutored you." Without Yifeng, Zhang Hao would never have had the chance to attend college in the Magic City. Zhang Hao didn't show any sign of shame. "You did those things voluntarily, don't blame us. And since you're so grateful, why not help us out again?" He was about to say more, but Yifeng immediately shoved him out the door. Zhang Hao, however, didn't give up, banging on the door outside. The noise was unbearable, testing Yifeng's patience. He shouted angrily towards the door, "Get lost. If you don't leave, I'll kill you." As soon as his voice fell, the noise stopped abruptly. Ding. Detected hostess anger level is full, granting a lottery chance. The system's voice echoed in Yifeng's mind. Without hesitation, Yifeng chose to draw. "Congratulations, host has won a 880 square meters room in the Thompson Riviera." Yifeng was stunned. This was a high-end property in the Magic City, where even the smallest unit had recently sold for 23,000 per square meter. At this rate, the property Yifeng had just won was worth at least 200 million. With that thought, his anger gradually dissipated. His stepfather and the others were practically delivering gifts to him. "I'll see what other tricks you guys can pull," Yifeng muttered to himself. Just as that thought crossed his mind, his phone rang. The caller ID showed Liu Barpi. It was none other than his former superior, the one who had recently fired him. Yifeng answered the phone immediately. The voice on the other end was rude. "Yifeng, do you still want your salary and your job? I've worked hard for a month. What do you think?" Yifeng retorted without hesitation. "If you were leaving through the proper channels, the company should have paid you a month ago. Shut up. Who do you think you are? I told you to leave, so leave." Liu, the manager, spoke arrogantly, clearly aware of Yifeng's family situation and how much that month's salary meant to him. If Yifeng didn't have the system, this threat might have worked. But now. "Alright, so you think firing people doesn't need a reason?" Yifeng sneered inwardly. In the past, he couldn't compete with Liu. But now, who was stronger was uncertain. Liu didn't detect the sarcasm in Yifeng's voice and thought Yifeng was about to back down. He changed his tone. "Actually, your work performance is good. I really didn't want to fire you. But if you donate a kidney, I promise not only will you get your job back, but you'll also get a promotion." After all, in the tech company, positions were rigid, and those who graduated earlier were still stuck at the same position. A promotion meant not only a higher salary but other benefits as well. Anyone else would have hesitated. But to Yifeng, these little gains meant nothing. So, Liu, you have a lot of power, huh? Yifeng left those words with deep meaning before hanging up. Liu didn't think much of it after all. Young people had tempers, and he was sure Yifeng would cave if he kept pushing. What Liu didn't know was that Yifeng had already sentenced him to death in his mind. This old man was getting bolder, knowing that he was only a year away from retirement, but still dared to threaten Yifeng. Like firing people, huh? Yifeng sneered. He was going to let Liu feel what it was like to be fired. Just 1 year from retirement, yet fired. What would that be like for Liu? Thinking of Liu, who usually held a high position, suddenly falling from grace, the devilish side of Yifeng began to stir. And his stepfather, Song Rantian, had such clever tactics. Maybe he had tricks in the collaborative projects too. If Yifeng could expose some of the actions of the Song group, perhaps. With this thought, Yifeng immediately called Lin Li. Keep an eye on the Song group's projects. With someone like Song Rantian, who only cares about profit, there's no way they aren't using underhanded methods. Once Yifeng found evidence of their wrongdoings, he would not hesitate to bring them down. But for now, he would start with Liu. Chapter for Minister Liu was fired. The next morning, in front of Jialing Company, Minister Liu, looking very proud of himself, was walking towards the company leisurely. I was already thinking in my mind that I should call Jiang Feng again. Mr. Song said that as long as he could help put pressure on Jiang Feng, he would be given another 100,000 after the task was accomplished. Minister Liu will retire in a year. Before leaving, make as much money as you can. I hope Jiang Feng, this brat, can cooperate a little. Minister Liu took out his cell phone while thinking about it. It was about 8:20 in the morning. Jiang Feng has stood up and started to carefully observe all the current engineering projects of the Song Group. Just at this moment, his cell phone rang again. I picked up the phone and saw that it was Liu Baopi again. I didn't expect that even though I didn't cause any trouble for him, he would dare to cause trouble for me. Jiang Feng sneered, answered the call directly and turned on the speakerphone. Minister Liu, why are you calling me so early in the morning? There was a hint of sarcasm in his tone. Minister Liu didn't notice anything, and spoke in a serious tone. Jiang Feng, what do you think about what I told you yesterday? You know, once you lose the opportunity, it will never come back again. Young man, what's the big deal about losing a kidney? Minister Liu continued to persuade them earnestly. Jiang Feng sneered in his heart. Minister Liu is really talking without any pain in his back. I hope you can still say this with confidence later. After saying that, Jiang Feng hung up the phone directly. He hoped that Minister Liu would still have such a sense of superiority after finding out that he was fired. Minister Liu, who didn't know the truth at this time, was completely confused. What is Jiang Feng saying in such a sarcastic tone? Just as he was wondering, he saw out of the corner of his eye that it was 8:30. It's time to go to work. There is no time to think too much. It would be bad if I was late and got my salary deducted. With this thought in mind, Minister Liu quickly took out his work ID and clocked in for work. Ding, invalid card. A mechanical voice sounded in Minister Liu's ears. He was puzzled and thought the machine had malfunctioned. He quickly waved and called the security guard nearby. What's wrong with this machine? Hurry up and ask the logistics department to come and fix it. Unexpectedly, the security guard looked at Minister Liu in surprise. And no action. Minister Liu, who will retire in a year, can be considered a veteran of the company. When have I ever been treated so coldly? I immediately got furious. I'm talking to you, but you ignored me. Do you believe I fired you? He is used to bullying others on a daily basis. In the past, these security guards would have apologized to him obediently. Who would have thought that today, the company's security guard would look at him with contempt? Minister Liu, I'm afraid you are not qualified to fire us yet. The security guard spoke in a strange tone and looked contemptuous. Minister Liu, relying on his age, often does things that bully others. Many people in the company have been dissatisfied for a long time. But no one has a background as strong as Minister Liu, so no matter how much dissatisfaction there is, we have to endure it. But all this ended last night. Thinking of this, the security guard looked even more rude. Get out of here now if you know what's best for you, Or don't blame us for taking action. Minister Liu's face suddenly darkened. Who gave these security guards the courage to treat him like this? I am an employee of this company and the director of the design department. I don't know who dares to touch me. Minister Liu still looks confident. Puff. The security guard couldn't help but sneer. You don't even know you've been fired. What? Even if Minister Liu was slow-witted, he would have known something was wrong at this moment. He quickly took out his cell phone. I originally planned to check the work group and ask what was going on. As a result, when he opened his phone, the work group showed that he was no longer in the group chat. Minister Liu realized that something was wrong and quickly found the boss's WeChat. He originally wanted to ask what was going on. As soon as the message was sent, a bright red exclamation mark appeared on it. He was blocked. Minister Liu was completely panicked. The security guard next to him saw Minister Liu's expression and immediately took out his cell phone. The big boss fired you directly in the group yesterday. The security guard was obviously trying to provoke Minister Liu on purpose. He also took the initiative to find the news about yesterday's dismissal and showed it in front of Minister Liu. Minister Liu didn't care about his image at this time. He quickly took the phone. It was clearly seen above that the big boss directly announced the removal of Liu Cheng from all positions. And the next news was that Liu Cheng had been removed from the group chat. After seeing this news, what else could Liu Cheng not react to? He suddenly felt a black screen in front of his eyes and almost fainted. He will be able to retire with honor in just 1 year. But the company fired him at this critical juncture. The fear and trepidation of the past few decades have all gone to waste in an instant. Liu Cheng couldn't swallow this humiliation. I want to see the big boss. He immediately ignored his age and started to act like a rogue. The security guard stopped Liu Cheng and did not let him enter the company. The two people were in a stalemate for a long time. After all, Liu Cheng was old and was quickly defeated. I saw the security guard refuse to budge. His eyes suddenly became sinister. Even at this age, he is no longer a cow or sheep that can be slaughtered at will. Since you don't care about feelings, you can't blame me. After saying that, Liu Cheng walked directly out of the company. Regardless of his expensive suit, he sat down on the ground. He burst into tears without caring about anything. This shady company fired me for no reason. It's just afraid that I'll retire at the age of 60 and won't be willing to compensate me. At first, when people entering and leaving the company saw this scene, they just lowered their heads and walked away silently. When the people in the design department heard the news, they went downstairs to take a look. It's really sad to see Minister Liu, who is usually so majestic, become like this. Many people were secretly happy. He has come to this day. If it weren't for Minister Liu taking all the credit, I wouldn't be a team leader now. It's even more disgusting. He also harassed female colleagues. Various sounds mixed together. It's just that if a tree has no bark, it will surely die. But if a person has no skin, he will be invincible. This saying is not a joke. The news of Liu Cheng making a fuss in front of the company soon spread. Some media rushed to report the incident, intending to suppress Jialing Company. Naturally, there were also media holding microphones to interview Liu Cheng. What Liu Cheng wanted now was to make the matter bigger, so naturally he said everything regardless of the consequences. After he finished speaking, he felt his mouth was a little dry, so he went to buy a bottle of water and planned to check the news before continuing. When he turned on his phone, he saw that local media had already begun reporting on the incident. In just 3 hours, the media that exposed the incident received tens of thousands of likes. Many people commented that Capital is greedy. At this moment, a familiar number appeared on Liu Cheng's phone. Upon closer inspection, it was their boss. Liu Cheng thought, "Are you giving in so quickly?" This big boss is still a little short of the mark when it comes to playing with him. Thinking that the other party was trying to surrender, Liu Cheng put on airs and deliberately waited for the phone to ring for a long time before answering it. Just the words on the other end of the phone made him break out in a cold sweat. Chapter 5 Retribution. Liu Cheng originally called the boss with full confidence. He felt that his tricks would definitely force the big boss to bring him back. But after the call was connected, the content I got was completely different from what I expected. Your despicable tactics are just for bluffing. Since we have worked together for many years, I will generously give you a reminder. Think carefully about who you have offended recently. The big boss's words were like thunder in my ears. Liu Chengdu was stunned. He had clearly been helping Song Ranqian recently and bullying a child from a single-parent family. The other party has no identity or background at all. Could it be him? Liu Cheng was a little curious, but quickly dismissed the idea. Just at this time, Song Ranqian called. You were fired from Jiling Company. Song Ranqian frowned, and a hint of coldness flashed across his brows. I originally thought I had a helper. I didn't expect it to be so useless. Liu Cheng knew that Song Ranqian was the heir to the Song Group. As long as he opens his mouth, he still has a good chance of returning to Jiling Company. Thinking of this, he spoke quickly. Boss Song, I've almost finished your business. Now I just need you to help me get back to the company. Liu Cheng hadn't finished speaking yet. Song Ranqian happened to see new news on the news. Jiling Company issued an announcement stating that it is in the process of cooperating with Qinqiong Company. The senior management of Qinqiong Company discovered that the former head of the design department had abused his power, so they fired this employee to serve as a warning to others. Song Ranqian, who originally planned to help Liu Cheng, saw Qinqiong Company. A trace of panic flashed across his eyes for a moment. Now he still has projects that rely on Qinqiong Company. If Qinqiong Company discovered his relationship with Liu Cheng, will it affect him? Thinking of this, Song Ranqian ignored Liu Cheng. Instead, he hung up Liu Cheng's phone and put him on the blacklist. Liu Cheng, who originally thought he had hope, continued to talk incessantly. Then the phone suddenly beeped and hung up. His originally excited expression suddenly became as wilted as an eggplant hit by frost. It just so happened that my mobile phone received a push notification about the news just released by Jiling Company. Dome Corporation discovered that I abused my power. Liu Cheng was a little confused when he saw the news. He has never had any contact with anyone from Qinqiong Company. Looking at the name of the company, Liu Cheng thought of the words of the boss. An unrealistic idea suddenly popped up in my mind. The chairman's office on the top floor of Qinqiong Company. Jiang Feng sat skillfully in his own office chair, looking at the documents in front of him. Although Qinqiong Company has a strong momentum, it lacks foundation. There are not many projects running at present. He wasn't really busy. Just at this moment, Lin Li walked in with a cup of carefully ground coffee. Chairman, I have some clues about the matter you asked me to help you check yesterday. Lin Li still has a faint scent of perfume on her body today. The light yellow blazer paired with the same style hip skirt makes her look full of charm. Don't tell me yet, tell me when you're sure. Jiang Feng would not take action on anything he was not sure of. Lin Li's eyes darkened. She originally thought that this young chairman would be impatient. Unexpectedly, she suddenly had an idea. Just haven't had the chance to implement it yet. The landline suddenly rang. Lin Li answered the phone skillfully. Secretary Lin, a man who calls himself Liu Cheng, came to the front desk and said that Qinqiong slandered him and asked to see our person in charge. The front desk uses short words. When Lin Li heard this, she looked at Jiang Feng immediately. He dares to come. Jiang Feng sneered. Originally, returning the favor in his own way was his greatest tolerance. Since some people are eager to come and play tricks, then it's okay for him to take a look. Let him in. After Jiang Feng finished speaking, he turned his chair. The wide chair back can just cover Jiang Feng's figure. Just at this time, Liu Cheng couldn't wait to follow the front desk to the chairman's office. See the fair-skinned and beautiful Lin Li inside. Liu Cheng sighed in his heart. It turned out that all bosses like this. But he is now powerless. Lin Li naturally also noticed Liu Cheng's obscene look. I just felt a little sick. But since Jiang Feng didn't intend to speak first, she had no choice but to speak. You said that our Sky Dome company slandered you. Do you have any evidence? Lin Li went straight to the point. No, but you, Sky Dome company, accused me of abusing my power without any evidence. You should produce the evidence. Liu Cheng had already thought it through in his mind before he came. With the recorded evidence of Qinqiong Company bullying others, it is entirely possible to threaten Qinqiong Company. I didn't expect that Liu Baopi would still be so shameless at this time. Jiang Feng smiled disdainfully. His sudden voice immediately caught Liu Cheng's attention. He noticed that there was someone sitting in the boss chair. Although he couldn't see the figure, for some reason, the voice just now sounded familiar to him. I felt inexplicably uneasy. But Liu Cheng thought about it and took the initiative to say, "Your company is bullying others by taking advantage of its power and colluding with Jialing Company to slander an old employee like me. Aren't you afraid of being struck by lightning? Even when death is imminent, he still dares to threaten others." Lin Li's face suddenly turned ugly. Who is bullying others by taking advantage of his power? Don't you know? Jiang Feng turned around. Looking at this familiar face, Liu Cheng's heart skipped a beat, and he asked uncertainly, "Jiang Feng, doesn't this kid have a poor father and a gambler? Why are you sitting here? It's amazing that Minister Liu still remembers my name." Jiang Feng's eyes were filled with sarcasm. After confirming the object, Liu Cheng's originally panicked expression suddenly calmed down. "I was wondering why Sky Dome Company would attack me. It turns out you were behind it. Since you have joined Qinqiong now, you should know that Qinqiong and Song Group have been cooperating recently. You know who's behind me, yet you still dare to offend me. Aren't you afraid that the cooperation between Song Group and Qinqiong Company will be in trouble? After all, it's no secret that Qinqiong Company and the Song Group are cooperating." But he tried to use this to threaten Jiang Feng. It's just hilarious here. Do you think the Song family can afford to break the contract? Jiang Feng was very calm. Even if the Song family breaks the contract, the loss of Qinqiong Company will not be small. Liu Cheng thought he had been in the business for so many years and was more familiar with the ins and outs of the company. Looking at Liu Cheng's smug look, Jiang Feng said nothing. Lin Li next to him looked at Liu Cheng as if he was a mentally retarded person. Liu Cheng thought Jiang Feng was intimidated by him, so he spoke quickly. "As long as you can get Jiling Company to retract its decision and donate your kidney, I promise that Songs will definitely help you and let you gain a firm foothold in Qinqiong Company. By then, you will definitely be better than in Jiling Company." Chapter 6, Successful Face Slapping. "You will definitely be much more comfortable than you were at Jiling Company." Liu Cheng talked incessantly. It seemed as if he saw Jiang Feng's future great success. Little did they know. His words sounded so ridiculous in the ears of Jiang Feng and Lin Li. Now the Song Group can no longer reach Qinqiong Company. And the Song Group is just a simple partner. Or the one who follows the orders of the Sky Dome Company. This Liu Cheng dares to say these words here shamelessly. And Lin Li knew it very well. Jiang Feng is the one who purchased Qinqiong Company in full. This is what Liu Cheng said. It was something that Jiang Feng could easily obtain. And Liu Cheng had no idea how ridiculous he was. "I thought that's what I said." It definitely touches Jiang Feng's heart. Seeing Jiang Feng didn't say anything, Liu Cheng thought Jiang Feng must be moved by him. Thinking of this, Liu Cheng spoke directly in a condescending tone. "Look, I've been talking for so long. You won't even give me a sip of water. Do you still have the sincerity to cooperate?" In his opinion, Jiang Feng did have some connection. It is also impossible to compare with the Song Group. "You want to drink the water I poured." The reason why Jiang Feng ignored Liu Cheng. "I just want to see how he performs. I didn't expect that this old guy would just say these things. Why can't I drink water? Don't forget how often you poured water for me in the office." Liu Cheng is still immersed in the glory of the past. "Oh." Jiang Feng's mouth corners slightly raised. His eyes flickered with a hint of sarcasm. Lin Li next to him looked at Jiang Feng, who was unmoved. There was immediate action. She poured a glass of water directly from the side. Liu Cheng was about to reach out to take it, but the next moment, Lin Li poured the entire glass of water directly on Liu Cheng's face. She had long regarded this as disrespectful to the elderly. "I'm displeased with this extremely wretched old man. You." Liu Cheng was originally very proud of himself. He was furious when a glass of water was poured over his head and face. Before he could react, a merciless voice rang out. "Have you had enough to drink? If it's not enough, ask my secretary to get you a large cup. I hope you can experience what it means to be chilled to the bone." Seeing Liu Cheng in such a miserable state, Jiang Feng was in a good mood and spoke even more impolitely. "You are abusing me. Believe it or not, I will ask the Song Group to trouble you later." Liu Cheng wiped the water off his face. His grey hair was messy and stuck to his face. With an indescribable sense of embarrassment. "Song Group." Jiang Feng held his forehead and chuckled disdainfully. This morning when Lin Li reported on the Song family issue, people have already been sent to follow the clues to find the problem with the Song group. It should be about time. Suddenly, Lin Li's cell phone rang. After she answered the phone, she spoke directly. "Bring the stuff in." The voice fell. Then I saw a man in a suit and tie walking in from outside. Hand over a thick document respectfully. All were placed on Jiang Feng's right-hand side. "This is the Song group cutting corners. All evidence of fraud." After saying this, the man did not linger for long. He walked out directly with a businesslike look on his face. Why was such important information returned to Jiang Feng? Liu Cheng finally realized something was wrong at this time. "Who are you? Why do this woman and the man just now both obey Jiang Feng's orders?" There was a hint of coldness in Jiang Feng's eyes. "Am I not just a small employee fired by you?" This statement was tinged with sarcasm. Liu Cheng just felt a chill down his spine. No matter who you are, the Song group is not something you can shake. I felt something was wrong. Liu Cheng still didn't give up. Trying to use the Song group as a backing. Jiang Feng handed the document to Lin Li without any further ado. "With these evidences, directly sue the Song group for breach of contract. Ask the other party to pay liquidated damages." Lin Li took the document respectfully. With this attitude, Liu Cheng could no longer associate it with any problems. Then he has wasted his time in the workplace. You are the chairman of Sky Dome Company." When saying this, Liu Cheng's tone was full of disbelief. This poor boy with no money and no power. How did he suddenly become the chairman of the company? "You are not lying to him." But the facts before him forced him to admit it. Jiang Feng seems to be really powerful. It's not too stupid. Jiang Feng finished speaking and pointed to the carpet on the ground. The top is wet because of water. There is a very obvious mark. Liu Cheng's shoes are not clean. Just happened to leave two distinct footprints on it. This carpet. He hasn't finished speaking yet. Beads of sweat the size of beans suddenly appeared on Liu Cheng's forehead. The carpet in the chairman's office of Qinqiang Company. That must be worth a lot of money. Even if he has worked for so many years, he will probably have to empty his savings. Now that he has lost his job, what if he has no savings left? His wife, who already dislikes him, will definitely take advantage of the situation. That day, thinking of this, he knelt on the ground without caring about his image. "Keep wiping the stains on the carpet with your sleeve. I was wrong. I didn't recognize the real thing. Please be magnanimous and don't argue with me." Liu Cheng kept a very low profile. Little did he know that the carpet in front of him was just an ordinary small carpet. Jiang Feng looked at Liu Cheng, who was bowing his head and admitting his mistake. I just felt that the resentment in my heart was relieved a little. Just at this time, the system's voice sounded. "Congratulations to their host for successfully slapping someone in the face and getting a chance to draw a prize. Excuse me. Congratulations to their host for obtaining a villa in the eastern suburbs of the magic city Hesheng. I didn't expect such an unexpected gain. Although the lowest price of the Hesheng East suburb villa in Shanghai is also 115 million. However, after Jiang Feng received several rewards, the mood is not so excited anymore. But after receiving the reward, Jiang Feng was in a good mood. There was no desire to kill Liu Cheng. He just mercifully sent him away. Liu Cheng left the company with profuse gratitude. After walking out of the Qinqiang Company, he simply borrowed a cell phone from someone. Now tell Song Rantian Jiang Feng's true background. He also has the opportunity to get everything he wants. I have to say that Liu Cheng is a villain. The abacus is very good. It's a pity that this time, he just opened his mouth and said the two words, "Mr. Song." Song Rantian hung up the phone without hesitation and blocked the phone number. Why is this person still haunting us? Unable to contact Song Rantian successfully, Liu Cheng's face suddenly turned gloomy. "If you don't answer my call, you will die." Liu Cheng cursed angrily. Minister Liu, who was once high and mighty. Now he is just an ordinary 59-year-old man. But he waited and saw. Let us see if Song Rantian's situation will be better than his in the future. After returning the phone to the passerby, Liu Cheng decisively left. Little did he know that this scene was completely seen by Jiang Feng. Since some people like to make garbage so much, don't give him a chance to be a human being in the future. There was a cold flash in Jiang Feng's eyes. Lin Li understood immediately and called Jialing Company directly. Soon, Jialing Company directly prosecuted Liu Cheng for multiple crimes including abuse of public power. The court also seized Liu Cheng's property and confiscated all illegal gains. After all these operations, Liu Cheng not only lost all his retirement money, they were sent directly to prison for at least 3 years. Because of the sentence, his daughter-in-law took the children and left. But that's all later. There is no need for Jiang Feng to waste time on Liu Cheng now, because he decided to move today. Just go to the detached villa that the system rewarded you with. Lin Li followed Jiang Feng diligently to pack up the things. However, Jiang Feng stated that he would come back to live here. So I simply packed a few clothes and drove to the eastern suburbs of Shanghai. On the other side, Song Rantian hung up the phone not long ago. An urgent call suddenly came in. Boss Song, this is bad. Sky Company has sued us. What? Song Rantian stood up directly, his face looking solemn. Why did Qinqiang Company suddenly sue him? Chapter 7, Dog Eyes Look Down on People. Qinqiang Company accused us of cutting corners. The reason is that selling inferior goods as good ones violates the spirit of the contract. Demand that we pay 10 times the compensation according to the contract. The person on the other end of the phone sounded anxious. A cooperative project between the Song Group and Qinqiang Company. It's about 126 million investment. 10 times the compensation would be 1.26 billion. It's not that Song Rantian can't come up with the money. It is the liquid funds currently on the books of the Song Group. Only 260 million. Unless the property is sold immediately. However, this matter is not impossible to reverse. Song Rantian immediately called the contact number of Qinqiang Company. The communications department contacted Lin Li directly. Lin Li and Jiang Feng were on their way to the villa at this time. Just then the phone rang. You said that the Song Group is willing to pay double the compensation. After hearing the other party's request, Lin Li frowned slightly. Subconsciously looked at Jiang Feng. How much liquidity does the Song Group currently have on its books? 260 million. Lin Li did investigate this matter. Now their total project investment is 126 million. Double compensation is 252 million. It basically drained all of the Song Group's current liquidity. Only 8 million was left for employee salaries. Then accept double compensation first. Jiang Feng didn't intend to destroy the Song Group all at once. It hurts to cut the flesh with a blunt knife, right? Moreover, the Song Group has been standing for so long. It definitely cannot be shaken overnight. Hear Jiang Feng speak. Lin Li responded directly to the communications department. At this moment, Song Rantian was completely frightened. If the other party really insists on more than 1.2 billion, that is impossible. But during the lawsuit, all funds of the Song Group will be frozen. Salaries will be paid in a few days. The funds were frozen at this juncture. I don't know when it will be unblocked. It will also have a great impact on him. Just when he was worried, the communications department called back quickly. Hello, Mr. Song, our chairman has agreed. But I want you to transfer the money immediately. We will withdraw the lawsuit immediately after receiving the payment. Listening to the calm words on the phone, Song Rantian's heart was actually bleeding. More than 200 million yuan, gone just like that. However, considering the consequences of prosecution, he had no choice but to accept it. At this time, Jiang Feng had already arrived at the East Suburb Villa complex. The security here is very strict. The security guard at the door saw an unfamiliar vehicle. He stepped forward and stopped them immediately. What do you do? When I saw the Rolls-Royce Phantom, the other party's attitude was pretty good. I bought a villa here. Now I want to go home, can't I? Jiang Feng got out of the car directly with a very calm tone. But these security guards have seen many important people on a daily basis. I have never seen anyone wearing clothes that are washed so badly that they become bleached. A rich man like a poor student. Can you afford a villa here? A security guard who looked somewhat young spoke with disdain. He was noticed by a rich woman in the villa complex. So no one dares to provoke him on weekdays. Why can't our chairman afford it? Lin Li couldn't bear to watch and stepped forward to help Jiang Feng. As a result, the security guard's expression became even more sarcastic. I see you rented this car, right? Is this woman rented too? Based on your attire, I think you'll be able to squeeze out all the money you have. Just to enter this east suburb villa complex. It would be best if I could hook up with a rich woman. The security guard smiled disdainfully as he spoke. Many people have been using this trick recently. Didn't a rich woman file a lawsuit not long ago? This seemed like he looked down on Jiang Feng in the slightest. This really made Lin Li next to her angry. Just at this moment, Jiang Feng's phone rang. Hello, sir. I am your private butler in the Dongjiao Villa complex. The previous owner of the villa. And all the supporting staff have been transferred to your name. When will you come over here? The speaker was a middle-aged man with a somewhat weathered voice. The tone was very respectful. Jiang Feng didn't expect that the system was so comprehensive. But when his eyes fell on the security guard in front of him, the tone inevitably turned cold. I was just outside the villa complex when I was stopped by a security guard. What, these dogs look down on others? How dare you stop you? The butler's tone suddenly became angry. To know the people who can buy a villa here. Their net worth is at least hundreds of millions. These security guards are paid. They even dare to stop the people who pay them. It's simply lawless. Please wait a moment. I'll be right there. The housekeeper hung up the phone directly, hurrying towards the gate of the community. The rest of the security guards were a little scared at this time. I was afraid that I would really offend the owner of the house here. Only the young security guard didn't take Jiang Feng seriously at all. The play is quite complete. If the butler cannot prove your identity later, I will see what you will do. The security guard's voice had just fallen. On the other side, a middle-aged man drove a Panamera. All I saw was grey hair. Steward Lin, who was dressed meticulously, hurried over here. Hello, sir. I am your butler, Lin Quanghua. He locked onto his master immediately. Because the original owner left photos before leaving. The young security guard looked at the scene in front of him and his expression suddenly turned ugly. Is this guy who looks like a pauper really the owner of the household? No. The security guard's expression changed. It still gave myself courage. If you are really the head of the household, why didn't Sister Li tell me? Sister Li is the rich woman who supports him. She can also spy on my master's information. Before Jiang Feng could even open his mouth, Steward Lin refuted him mercilessly. A female mistress who is not presentable and is kept here. I've lived here for a long time. I'm afraid you've forgotten who the original owner was. Butler Lin's words were completely impolite. However, Jiang Feng likes this style of butler very much. The security guard who was told this stood up immediately. He took out his cell phone and called Sister Li. Sister Li, a housekeeper said you are a mistress who is not presentable. When the person on the other end of the phone heard this, I didn't know what to say in response. Soon, the security guard looked at Jiang Feng with confidence. Sister Li said, "Come over here and tear your mouth apart." The words just fell. A woman driving a red Ferrari appeared in everyone's sight. She had slightly curly hair and smelled of pungent perfume. The clothes on her body looked somewhat revealing. She wore a large diamond necklace around her neck. Not only does it look tasteless, it also looks ugly. Even if he is not the third one, he is still a nouveau riche. But Sister Li didn't care about all this and went straight to the security booth. Who is it that not only bullies others but also calls me a mistress? I heard he is a butler. Doesn't your owner know how to take care of his dog? Chapter 8, Tearing Off the Disguise. Take care of your dog. When Jiang Feng heard these sarcastic words, a sneer appeared on his face. Should I call you master? Fold your clothes neatly in the closet. Or give your master some advice. Is it time to dispose of old clothes? Jiang Feng was not polite when he spoke. The woman's face turned gloomy due to choking. Look at the cheap clothes the man in front of me is wearing. The woman suddenly felt confident. A poor boy whose hair has not even grown out. How dare you to bully me in front of me? Do you believe that I can teach you how to behave in a minute? Sister Li was very impolite in what she said. His master was insulted. Butler Lin and Lin Li naturally couldn't just sit there and wait for death. Master, this woman is the mistress of the president of Moet. The housekeeper directly revealed the identity of the financial backer behind the woman. A hint of unnaturalness quickly flashed across the woman's face. But she soon comforted herself. What does it matter even if these people know who their financial backers are? If the other party didn't come here, her identity would not be exposed. You just touch your upper and lower lips together. Who wouldn't say such a light sentence? The woman looked disdainful. Butler Lin happened to have the phone number of the president of Moet Chandon saved in his cell phone. I took it out and made a call immediately. Soon the phone was picked up. Seeing the call was connected, the woman secretly clenched her fists. Hello, I'm the housekeeper of the villa next door to you, But she didn't get nervous for a while. A message came from the other end of the phone. A butler is qualified to talk to me. As soon as the words fell, the phone was hung up. Butler Lin's face turned pale. Sister Lee and the security guard burst into laughter. Har har har, I thought you were so great. It turns out he is just a poor fellow with no background. They became more and more unscrupulous in their words. Chairman, Moet Chandon also has cooperation with us. At this moment, Lin Li whispered to Jiang Feng. And just after the housekeeper's phone call was hung up, she secretly called the president of Moet Chandon. Yes, Moet Chandon also cooperates with Sky Dome. Unfortunately, Chin Cheung is the client. Sure enough, Lin Li's phone call was much more useful this time. After the person on the other end of the phone answered the call, he quickly rushed over here. At this time, Sister Lee had become extremely arrogant. She looked at Jiang Feng in front of her with disdain. Since you are still young and don't know the seriousness of the matter, please kowtow to us and apologize. We will let you go. She actually wanted to force Jiang Feng to kneel down and kowtow to apologize. Okay, kowtow to us and apologize honestly. I will let you go. Jiang Feng deliberately said this again. But this time, the person being humiliated was Sister Lee. Sister Lee's face suddenly changed. I see you are not willing to accept my toast. Killing you is as easy as crushing an ant. After saying that, Sister Lee reached out and wanted to slap Jiang Feng. Lin Li quickly stood in front of Jiang Feng. Sister Lee was thrown directly to the ground. Sister Lee was caught off guard and fell to the ground. He immediately revealed a look of pain. You are intentionally hurting people. I will sue you. The security guard turned pale with fright. I am afraid that something might happen to my financial backer. You were the first to attack, I was just defending myself. Lin Li can firmly hold the position of secretary to the chairman of Chin Cheung Company. Naturally, he is not a soft persimmon that can be bullied by anyone. The security guard refused to give in. So many of us have seen it with our own eyes. You pushed him to the ground on purpose. The security guards around were a little hesitant. The salary here is higher and the work is less stressful. Rich people value privacy. They don't even have to patrol on weekdays. As long as you sit in the security booth, your monthly salary will be deposited into your account on time. So they don't want to lose this job. And this rich woman had taken someone away before. But they don't dare to offend others easily. So at this time, they can only pretend to be dumb and blind. Seeing that his colleague was silent, the security guard's expression became even more arrogant. Just prepare to go to jail. His words had just fallen. Suddenly there was a roar of a car outside. I saw a middle-aged bald man walking out of the business car. He walked towards this side with a nervous look on his face. Who is Secretary Lin from Chin Cheung Company? It's me, this is the chairman of our Sky Dome Company. Lin Li stood up directly and solemnly introduced Jiang Feng. Seeing Jiang Feng, the man looked a little surprised. However, Chin Cheung's lawsuit against the Song Group has caused a lot of controversy. No one dared to bring bad luck to Chin Cheung Company at this critical juncture. Thinking of this, the man immediately smiled ingratiatingly. The chairman is really young and promising. Jiang Feng did not respond. Lin Li spoke immediately. This guy named Li something has offended the chairman. Hear this. The man looked at the woman on the ground with vicious eyes. When I saw the man appear, the woman couldn't stop shaking all over. Now it's looked at like this. I was scared to the extreme. From today on, you should go back to your village. Li Tsuehua. The man's words were blunt. The woman suddenly collapsed to the ground as if all her strength had been drained away. It was in stark contrast to the arrogance just now. Seeing Sister Lee like this, what else could the security guard not understand? His face turned pale and he immediately fell to his knees. He began to kowtow to Jiang Feng. "I'm sorry, I didn't recognize the real one. Chairman, please be magnanimous and let me go. It's time. Of course, keeping your job is the most important thing. Since the other party is the chairman, it is no problem to fire a small security guard. If you did this before, it would still count, but now." Jiang Feng didn't finish the rest of his words. But the security guard had already fallen to the ground. At the same time, the system's voice came again. "Congratulations to their host for successfully slapping her in the face. Get a Lamborghini Veneno. This time, the lucky draw won another vehicle worth hundreds of millions." Jiang Feng's mood became better. Regardless of the security guard behind who already looked as pale as death. Took Lin Li and Butler Lin to the villa. Looking at the villa with a private swimming pool in front of me, Lin Li became more certain. Jiang Feng is a young master from a wealthy family. And based on what Jiang Feng said recently to the Song Group and Liu Cheng before, she probably already had some guess in her mind. "Chairman, from now on, you can ask Lin Li to do anything you want. Lin Li will never betray you. She must hug this golden thigh now." Jiang Feng didn't expect Lin Li to suddenly express her loyalty. Obviously a little surprised. But he quickly adjusted. Lin Li has indeed performed well during this period. Why not give her a chance yourself? With this thought in mind, Jiang Feng spoke calmly. "Then I will give you a task. As you command." Chapter 9 Mother's Advertisement. I have a childhood friend who has been harassing me lately. Forced me to donate a kidney to a bastard. When Jiang Feng talked about his half-brother, there was disgust in his eyes. What good stuff can that gold digger and Song Rantian produce? Lin Li understood immediately. "Don't worry, Chairman, in a week. I promise to make sure he doesn't bother you again." She made the promise directly. "Then it depends on your performance." Jiang Feng nodded. Just at this time, Butler Lin had already prepared dinner. The two went downstairs and ate. Jiang Feng felt that he should stay in the rental house for the time being. Before revenge is successful, it is best not to let the other party realize your intentions. Steward Lin would not have the slightest objection to his master's decision. This time they came out. The security guards at the door were all very respectful. Dare not show the slightest negligence. Jiang Feng didn't want to hold a grudge against these people. After all, they didn't do anything excessive. Wait until the company car is not far from the floor. A familiar vehicle immediately caught Jiang Feng's attention. Song Rantian's car. I didn't expect them to come again. It seems that the trouble we have caused to the Song Group before is not enough. Jiang Feng thought secretly in his heart. Just ask the driver to stop here. Don't pick me up these days. Complete your mission well. After making arrangements for Lin Li, Jiang Feng walked directly upstairs. He wanted to see what trick Song Rantian was up to. Song Rantian, who was being missed by Jiang Feng at this time. "At this time, I am busy and exhausted in the company. After paying compensation to Qinqiang Company, there was only 8 million left in the company's account. As a result, at this time, news came from a hospital. He said his son's condition was getting worse again. If it is too late, even if we have a kidney, it will be useless." Forced into doing so, Song Rantian could only ask his wife to bring reporters to find Jiang Feng. This was his last gentle resort. Jiang Feng, who didn't know all this, had already gone upstairs. I could smell my mother's perfume from a distance. Before he could get close, the sharp-eyed Lin Meili rushed over directly. She pretended to be heartbroken and started crying in front of Jiang Feng. "Fenger, mother knows that this is unfair to you. But your brother is also my child. Please save him." Lin Meili still has some acting skills. Tears flow at will. "I've already said it before, I won't save a bastard." Jiang Feng didn't buy it at all. Hearing this, the reporters who had been lying in ambush came out directly. "That's your brother. As a brother, it's fine if you don't know how to help. And you called your brother a bastard." The reporter was wearing a miniature camera. The entire scene just now has been recorded. His intuition told him that this matter would definitely explode. We are just half siblings, so it doesn't count as a failure for me. Jiang Feng still spoke rudely. He simply ignored the reporter in front of him. He walked straight to the door and was about to open it. Lin Meili suddenly fell to her knees with a thud. This was the plot they had discussed before. In order to make the most of public opinion, she has put in a lot of effort. Even if mom begs you, please save your brother. Can you just show your love and save a cat or dog? Lin Meili continued to perform hard. But in Jiang Feng's eyes, it was simply moral kidnapping. If their mother had done this sincerely before, Jiang Feng had donated it a long time ago. If you call reporters here now to pretend to be nice, he won't accept it. Let go. Jiang Feng simply pushed Lin Meili away, took out the key and opened the door. Then he closed the door mercilessly. Lin Meili watched this unfilial son disappear from her sight. His face suddenly became distorted. She stood up with the help of the wall and dusted herself off. There was no trace of the pitiful look he had just now. I want you to help me send out this news immediately. This is the deposit I give you. Lin Meili took out 50,000 yuan from her pocket and handed it to the reporter. The reporter took the 50,000 yuan with a smile and made many promises. Don't worry, I will help you do this. After getting a satisfactory answer, Lin Meili looked dignified and turned away. The reporter also returned to the studio with the video. Although these were basically performed according to the script he arranged. But the reporter felt somewhat guilty. Just 50,000 yuan is almost his annual salary. Thinking of this, the reporter gritted his teeth. The video was edited quickly. The title is The Mother Knelt Down to Beg, but the Cruel Son Kicked Her. In today's society, this topic quickly attracted everyone's attention. It was just sent out no more than 3 minutes ago. Thousands of people have liked and retweeted it. The heat quickly mounted. A group of keyboard warriors suddenly appeared in the comment section. If my mother kneels down and begs me, even if it costs me my life, I will give it to her. Who said that she gave me my life? This person is so heartless. He dared to do this to his mother in front of reporters. I don't know what to do behind the scenes. I heard it was to save his brother. This guy actually called his own brother a bastard, how funny. His brother is a bitch, what is he? Purebred? Is he a dog? Do we need to look at his pedigree? All kinds of remarks are directly one-sided. Jiang Feng's reputation on the internet was suddenly lowered to the lowest level. There are even some netizens with extraordinary powers. Directly found Jiang Feng's phone number. Jiang Feng was originally washing up. Suddenly the call was connected. You are a beast, worse than a pig or a dog. Even my own mother. The other party came up and started cursing. Jiang Feng frowned immediately. After hanging up the phone. Just so that the video has been released. Lin Li happened to have also seen the video. Called Jiang Feng directly. Chairman, I think we might be able to take advantage of this. In fact, it is very unsafe to live in this old building. So Jiang Feng installed a camera at the door of his house a long time ago. It's just more hidden, originally intended to prevent thieves. I never thought there would be a day when I could use it as evidence to fight back. Okay. Jiang Feng nodded directly. After the reporter released the news, he saw that the data was so popular. I originally planned to do it behind the scenes. Only half an hour passed. Soon someone called. Li Lian, you are fired. Why? Li Lian felt very confused. Obviously the video I made is so good. You took the customer's money privately. You deliberately invade other people's privacy and you have the nerve to ask me why? Get ready for the lawsuit. The phone just hung up. Soon the sound of a police car was heard outside. Li Lian was taken away soon. Lin Meili had no idea at this time. I was also happily watching videos on the internet. She fantasized about the scene where Jiang Feng would kneel down and cry and beg in front of her tomorrow. Little did they know. Chapter 10 2-Level Reversal. For a while, there were all kinds of discussions on the internet. The vast majority of people were cursing Jiang Feng. I feel that as a son, I should obey my mother's requests. And the person he saved was his own brother. And his biological mother said she was willing to give him 1 million as compensation. If I had this million, I would sell my kidney. Someone said in a joking tone. After all, that was when Apple was born. There are even people who sold their kidneys for a mobile phone. Watching public opinion begin to ferment. There was a hint of viciousness on Lynn Maley's face. This damn bastard. If she still doesn't know how to bow her head, you can't blame her. After all, using public opinion and the like are all their means. If you don't cooperate with them, she would not let him go just because he was her own son. On the other side, in the office of the chairman of Chincheon Company. Chairman, public opinion has reached a certain level. This is the best time to take action. Lin Lee held a notebook and kept an eye on the data in the video. Seeing the data rising all the way, it attracted the attention of most people. Then let him out. Jiang Feng casually turned the pen in his hand. It has to be said that Lin Lee is a master at manipulating public opinion. She posted directly. Title: What would you do if you had a mother who abandoned you as a child? Under the current circumstances, there are more and more left behind children. In fact, many children are abandoned at home. It has to be said that this topic attracted the attention of the vast majority of people as soon as it was posted. After all, many people are clickbaiters. After attracting people, everyone soon noticed that. This video actually shows the entire process of Lin Maley and Song Rantian forcing Jiang Feng. Slightly edited, but with text. Look at Jiang Feng again. He was forced to curl up on the ground and couldn't he even go home. It undoubtedly attracted everyone's attention at the first moment. I originally thought that children were not human beings, but now it seems that I was wrong. I am not a human being. Look at these parents. The mother even abandoned her child because she despised the family's poverty. How can there be such a cruel mother in the world? Oh my God. If it were me, I would not only not donate a kidney, I even cursed that bastard to die soon. The topic, which was originally all about condemning Jiang Feng, suddenly changed. Moreover, Lin Lee found a very good opportunity. It was just after 11 at night. Song Rantian had a busy day. Lin Maley and I have already rested. Before they went to bed, everyone was still forcing Jiang Feng. Just after one night. Song Rantian hasn't woken up yet. I vaguely heard the cell phone ringing next to my ear. I don't know what the emergency is. The sound of the cell phone was extremely piercing. Finally pulled him out of his sleep. Who? Seeing that it was an unfamiliar number, Song Rantian was a little confused. But he still asked patiently. The person on the other end of the phone started swearing. Song Rantian, you are worse than a pig or a dog. Forcing your stepson to donate a kidney to your biological son. If you don't donate, you're going to kill people, right? These harsh words immediately woke Song Rantian up. You must be crazy. He cursed and didn't take the episode to heart. Lin Maley next to her was also awakened by the sound of talking. Who is it? She asked subconsciously. It's just a dog that bites people randomly. It was probably hired by Jiang Feng. Song Rantian thought that the method they used yesterday was effective. Finally, Jiang Feng was forced into a desperate situation. They even do such a tasteless thing as hiring people to swear in the streets. Hearing Jiang Feng, Lin Maley sat up immediately. How dare this evil creature find someone to scold us? This recording should also be posted online so that everyone can scold him. At this time, Lin Maley and Song Rantian had no idea. During the few hours they were sleeping. The direction of things is completely beyond their control. No one in the company dared to call Song Rantian in the middle of the night to wake him up. So they stayed next to each other. Wait till this morning. Some people have already started calling the company to insult them. However, Song Rantian knew nothing about these things. He was no longer sleepy and could only get up and get dressed. Lin Maley also stood up. The two people followed their usual habits. First I went to the hospital to see their poor son. Finally, I haven't entered the door yet. They noticed that everyone looked at them strangely today. After entering the ward, I saw a wreath was placed on the bedside at some point. It says, karma is a cycle, retribution will come. Their son was still in a coma at this time. I don't know any of this at all. This must have been brought by that evil son Jiang Feng. Is he deliberately trying to curse his brother to death? When Lin Maley saw this scene, she almost gasped. Little did they know. This is exactly what some powerful netizens do. Song Ranqian's face also looked ugly. He didn't expect Jiang Feng to dare to do this. "Don't worry, I will definitely take care of this matter." Lin Meili said this and took out her cell phone. "Call that reporter from yesterday." At first the call was connected, but the other party didn't answer. When Lin Meili called again, the phone was blocked immediately. She didn't know that the reporter was fired yesterday. Not only was he fired, he was also sent to the detention center and given a good education. If Jiang Feng didn't want to make a comeback, probably last night, Lin Meili can't even sleep peacefully. But Lin Meili didn't realize the problem at all at this time. After seeing that the phone call was not connected, decided to go to the place where the reporter worked yesterday. Song Ranqian simply ate a little, went directly to the company. After entering the company, almost everyone had a strange look on their face. Song Ranqian was a little confused. "What are you looking at?" Just at this moment, the director of the public relations department came over. He shouted at these people. The employees then withdrew their gaze and pretended to be busy. In fact, they were still observing Song Ranqian secretly. It's time. If Song Ranqian still doesn't notice anything unusual, then something is fishy. He frowned and looked at the head of the public relations department. Did something happen? The situation is now critical and the minister dares not hide it. It actually started last night. It was after the video of your wife kneeling down and begging her son to donate a kidney was exposed. The company was in turmoil. The PR department put it very tactfully. In the beginning, our company was the one that received sympathy. Until later, someone exposed this video. The head of the public relations department took out his cell phone while speaking. Opened the video directly. Only seen in the video, Song Ranqian and Lin Meili's faces could be seen clearly. Especially what Song Ranqian said. "Believe it or not, I will make you disappear from the face of the earth." It immediately aroused heated discussion among everyone. As the helmsman of the company, Song Ranqian was very clear about what public opinion would bring to the company. Immediately, he gave the order without hesitation. Suppress this news immediately. Chapter 11, Termination of Contracts. At any cost. Suppress this news immediately. This matter cannot continue to ferment. Song Ranqian knew that if this news was allowed to continue to ferment, the company's stock will be affected. In fact, the impact has already begun. It just hasn't shown up yet. In the office of the chairman of Qinqiong Company, Jiang Feng, after a night of rest, looking at the comments on the internet, a sneer appeared on the corner of his mouth. This video has attracted the attention of many people who hate the rich. Similar to, "It's great to be rich. You're just bullying us poor people, right? Damn capitalists." Such remarks are endless. Especially Jiang Feng was forced to do so and couldn't go home. Video of having to sleep in the corridor. It directly made countless people feel sad. By now, some people have started organizing. The Song Group thinks they are so great just because they have some filthy money, right? Everyone, sell a few shares and short them. So, ordinary people also have their own abilities. It is estimated that this impact will be revealed when the stock market opens in the afternoon. Jiang Feng naturally would not miss this opportunity. In the afternoon, if there is a chance, buy more of Song's scattered shares. He instructed Lin Li, who was beside him. Lin Li understood Jiang Feng and told the truth. When she saw the news yesterday, she felt very sad. Didn't he expect that the chairman would be bullied by these things? She will definitely do her best to help the chairman deal with all these people. Compared to Qinqiong Company's waiting. At this time, the Song Group was already in a mess. In the morning, Song Ranqian just received some strange looks. But after officially starting work in the morning, the situation becomes even more complicated. For example, the suppliers they often cooperate with, called directly, indicates that they will no longer be supplied. They were also required to pay back all the money they had previously spent on cement and steel materials. Otherwise, the Song Group will be sued at any time. Supplier suspension is just the beginning. After all, the Magic City is so big. If one supplier is gone, there are still other suppliers. What's strange is the supplier Song Ranqian found today. All his requests were rejected. In this way, the real estate business contracted by the Song Group had to be suspended. Because if you want to build a house, you need materials. Some of these businesses were obtained through loans from the Song Group. If we stop working for one day, we will lose a lot of money. Song Rantien originally thought that was all. If you can't find a material supplier locally, just look somewhere else. There are many cities around Shanghai. But he hasn't had the chance to arrange these yet. Many big companies called us one after another. Request to terminate the contract with the Song Group. The reason is that the Song Group's image is now damaged. Continuing to do business would affect their credibility. This reason made Song Rantien feel a lump in his throat. His face flushed. The Song family does not have much liquid capital at present. Suddenly terminated the contracts with these companies. That means that the money invested previously cannot be recovered for the time being. This almost pissed Song Rantien off to death. When we were working together before, everyone was smiling, just a little thing happened. Are you all so eager to come and add insult to injury? He was so angry that he swept all the documents on the table to the ground. Things have developed to this point today. What else doesn't he understand? Jiang Feng. Song Rantien roared out the name. Those things on the internet that are not good for him. All of it was captured by surveillance cameras. If this matter has nothing to do with Jiang Feng, that's impossible. Mr. Song, the stock market is about to open. Just at this moment, the secretary kindly gave a reminder. Now the Song Group has lost many important customers. If we can't stabilize the stock market now, the Song Group will face big problems. Open the market. Song Rantien, who wanted to rush out, could only rub his temples. Force yourself to calm down. The Song Group has a very bad reputation now. It is estimated that many investors will sell their stocks. He needs to be in charge of the company. Prevent the stock from reaching the limit down state. It was already 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The stock market is open. Before the market closed yesterday. The Song Group is also red. Almost within a minute of opening, there was a direct drop of 1%. And it continues to decline. Green appeared directly. Watch first. Jiang Feng did not rush to take action. Now Song's stock has just begun to fall. These stock investors are all very powerful. As soon as they smell the slightest wind, they will start selling. Sure enough, within half an hour. The original price of a single share was 428 renminbi. Now it has dropped directly to 350. It dropped by 2 RMB in almost 1 minute. At this rate, 2 hours after opening, it is not impossible for it to fall below 300. According to this trend, the Song Group should be ready to take control. Lin Li's eyes were sharp. As a secretary, she knows a lot of things. I also know that the Song Group's stock price is falling now. Song's stock price was lowered to avoid the limit down. Will definitely be buying some shares myself. This is used to drive up the stock price. However, the funds that the Song family can mobilize now are insufficient. If nothing goes wrong, the Song family will raise funds. The best way is to take out a loan. Or sell your project to others. Pay attention to the Song family's movements. Jiang Feng also thought of this. Song Rantien had no idea of the current situation. He really gritted his teeth and took out the 8 million in the company's circulation. Start buying stocks in an attempt to reverse this decline. At least before the market closes, it must not fall below 300. But now investors are very angry. How can this be solved with just 8 million? Soon, all the funds in the company's account were gone. This only slowed down the downward trend. It went from 2 renminbi per minute to 1 renminbi and 40 cents per minute. But along with that they didn't invest the money. Soon the rate of descent accelerated. Song Rantien was stunned. What is going on? We can only stabilize the stock market first. Looking at the current bleak stock market, Song Rantien gritted his teeth. He directly took out a piece of land that he had just started construction on. The piece of land was not big, and it cost him nearly 100 million. But now, I don't seek to protect my capital. At least 80 million can be mobilized to stabilize the stock market first. Soon, the news that the Song Group had sold the land spread like wildfire. Why is the Song Group selling land now? Everyone's heart is as clear as a mirror. So everyone started to lower the price. Jiang Feng naturally did not miss this opportunity. Tell the Song Group. Jincheng Company offered 40 million. Get this land at this price. The net profit can be at least 50 million by reselling it. Lin Li sent the message directly. Other companies soon got the message. A new round of dragging and trampling is coming again. Chapter 12 Stepfather is taken away. Companies that received the message just start adding from 41 million. It's just like bidding at an auction. They are all very stingy. I've attended charity galas before and spent hundreds of millions of dollars. They are not so long-winded. They are deliberately going against me today, right? Song Ranqian was so angry that his nose almost turned crooked when he heard the news. But now the stock market has started to fall even more sharply. It's about to fall below 320. If we don't take action now, the price might fall below 300. It is very likely to fall below 280. Thinking of this, Song Ranqian's face turned pale. In the end, he had to sell the land for 50 million. I lost half of my goal with tears. It is estimated that the stock will rise slightly in the future. Jiang Feng seized the opportunity and asked Lin Li to secretly buy some stocks. When you see the stock price rising, just sell it. Not only did they not lose money, they even made a small profit of 1 million. Instead, Song Ranqian invested 50 million in the stock market. There wasn't even a splash of water. I don't know if everyone did this on purpose. Before the stock market closed, the price was deliberately raised to 250. This is a very ironic number. After the market was finally closed, Song Ranqian finally had some time to catch his breath. Jiang Feng started selling the land he had obtained before. The reserve price is 100 million. When Song Ranqian saw the news, his face turned as dark as ink. But those companies did not lower their prices. Instead, the price was driven up again. In less than half a day, the land was purchased for 50 million. It was sold directly for 110 million. Jiang Feng made a net profit of 60 million today. When he got off work, he refused Lin Li's offer to take him home. Instead, he took the subway by himself. Jiang Feng hasn't taken the subway for a while. Once again, I got on this crowded subway. It feels like a lifetime ago. If it weren't for the system, his life would be miserable now. Become a rat crossing the street that everyone shouts and beats. Or lose your life quietly in an unknown alley. Today these things are just beginning. Jiang Feng thought of Song Ranqian's miserable appearance today. I couldn't help but feel secretly happy. I guess old dog Song must be so angry that he's vomited 3 liters of blood. But he was just treating others in their own way. Downstairs of an old residential building. The conspicuous luxury car seems out of place here. Jiang Feng was a little surprised that Song Ranqian came to see him. But soon, a hint of coldness flashed in his eyes. It seems some people haven't learned enough lessons today. How dare you come to my door? Thinking of this, Jiang Feng took out his cell phone and called Lin Li. Arrange it. Let's see if we can send Mr. Song to jail for a few days today. Lin Li gave the assurance decisively. Originally, I was planning to say that Song Ranqian was harassing others. But when Jiang Feng went upstairs, he saw Song Ranqian looking furious. So I changed my mind immediately. How can harassing others be as convincing as intentionally hurting others? With this thought in mind, Jiang Feng walked straight over. Why is Mr. Song here again? Do you think yesterday's video was not good enough? Are you here to kneel down in person today? He spoke with thorns. Song Ranqian had been in a bad mood today. I can't suppress my anger at this moment. The original dignity and prudence had long been thrown out of the window. Jiang Feng, were you the one who exposed the video? He spoke bluntly. It's just like giving orders to your subordinates. Does it matter if I am or not? Jiang Feng deliberately spoke in a nonchalant manner. I am a nobody, and my words are not taken seriously. How can I compare to Mr. Song, who is rich and powerful? In the past, Song Ranqian was indeed rich and powerful and could call the shots. But today, he fell from heaven to hell. The Song family is now in danger. Not to mention that all partners have stopped supplying. All the major companies that had previously cooperated with us have terminated their contracts. And they also found a way to avoid paying liquidated damages. Let him swallow this bitter pill. Now there is Jiang Feng who is inferior to him in every way. How dare you mock him here? Who the hell are you? Don't think that online reviews can save your life. I want to crush you to death. It's just like crushing an ant. Song Rantian said this and approached Jiang Feng directly. Jiang Feng sneered. Since you are so powerful, why don't you just kill me? I'm afraid you don't dare to do it now. After all, if I suddenly disappear, you are definitely everyone's first suspect. Everyone is paying attention to this matter now. It was impossible for Song Rantian to crush him to death. You'd better burn incense every day. Pray for my good health and longevity. Otherwise, if anything happens to me, it will be your fault. Jiang Feng looked at Song Rantian with bloodshot eyes. The look of being angry. Continue to stimulate each other. As for your family's scumbag, if you don't want him to suffer, give up treatment as soon as possible. How did that sentence go? Die early and be reborn early. Jiang Feng's words became more and more outrageous. Veins popped up on Song Rantian's forehead. Forget about those companies that take advantage of others' misfortunes. Now even Jiang Feng, who is nothing, dares to talk about him. You said I don't dare to kill you, right? I'm going to kill you right now. Song Rantian raised his hand. I wish I could vent out all the humiliation I've suffered today. He didn't notice at all. Jiang Feng had a strange smile on his face. Just when Song Rantian was about to slap Jiang Feng in the face, a stern voice suddenly sounded. Stop. I saw a policeman in uniform striding towards me. He spoke righteously to Song Rantian. After investigation, you are suspected of intimidating, threatening and harassing others many times. Now I have seen him injuring someone with my own eyes. The situation is extremely bad. Please come with me. After he finished speaking, Song Rantian didn't even have the chance to refute. He was taken away directly. Lin Li quietly walked out of the corridor. Chairman. She walked up to Jiang Feng with a pretty smile. Intentionally or unintentionally, he shortened the distance between himself and Jiang Feng. Well done. Jiang Feng did not hesitate to praise and said it directly. When you complete the other task, you can choose the reward. Hearing this, Lin Li's eyes suddenly lit up. She approached Jiang Feng directly and spoke in a somewhat ambiguous tone. Is it okay to be with the chairman? Jiang Feng's ears turned slightly red at this question, and he felt a little uncomfortable. He tilted his head slightly and did not answer. Did Lin Li continue to ask questions? Instead, he quickly changed the subject. The task assigned by the chairman. Lin Li has almost finished the arrangement. It will probably be finished tonight. Why don't you come with me to take a look? So fast? Jiang Feng was a little surprised. But on second thought, Lin Li's methods are indeed amazing. I just don't know what will happen to Zhang Hao today. Remember, this man sold himself for money. Jiang Feng began to look forward to it. I hope he won't be disappointed. Chapter 13, Disgraced. In a small community on the edge of the Magic City, there were only 2 young women and 2 old couples. Condemning a young man. Young man, you look so young. How come you don't know what's good for you? How dare you play both sides? Do you think you are crab? At this moment, there was a red slap mark on Zhang Hao's face. It seems that the women who hit him are very angry. Jiang Feng saw this scene as soon as he arrived. He even knew one of the girls. Zhang Hao had previously posted on his moment saying that she was his girlfriend. I didn't expect that the scene would be like this when I met the real person today. Zhang Hao, you keep saying you want to marry me. And you ended up finding a woman like this outside. The girl pointed at the woman next to her who looked a bit worldly. What's wrong with a woman like me? The woman started shouting. The 2 women were arguing fiercely. Zhang Hao said nothing. Jiang Feng was obviously dissatisfied with the situation before him. Can the quarrel between 2 women affect a man? Don't worry, the best is yet to come. Lin Li smiled cunningly. The big eye seemed to be able to speak. Because the 2 people were quite close. Jiang Feng could just smell the faint fragrance on her body. Think of what Lin Li said before. Jiang Feng suddenly felt a little dry in the mouth. Just when he was distracted. Suddenly a bigger quarrel broke out over there. Jiang Feng, are you still a human being? How can you hit a woman? I saw the girl covering her face. His expression was full of disbelief. It seems that she didn't expect that her boyfriend is such a beast in human form. It turned out that it was during the moment when Jiang Feng was distracted. The girl was so angry that she wanted to hit Zhang Hao again. But this time Zhang Hao was not so easy to talk to. He reached out impatiently and grabbed the girl's wrist. Throw people away without mercy. The girl bumped into the trash can next to her. There was blood on the arm. See this scene. The woman who was still arguing. He started yelling immediately. The girl's face also looked very ugly. Some people around here have noticed this place. He started to point fingers at Zhang Hao. Some people have even started filming and releasing videos. After the cruel scumbag was exposed for playing two women at the same time. Beat up his girlfriend. This kind of topic became popular immediately. Plus the huge flow of people in Shanghai. In less than a few minutes, it was seen by tens of thousands of people. After all, the word scumbag is too eye-catching. I didn't hit you at all. Don't spit blood on me. Zhang Hao hurriedly explained, but it was of no use. Everyone has seen that the girl was injured because of him. Today's drama is just the beginning. Zhang Hao will be fired tomorrow. After he returned to the countryside in disgrace. The girl will also spread his bad deeds everywhere. Lin Li directly explained the next script. At first she thought this man was difficult to deal with. I didn't expect him to be such a lustful and tasteless person. So the trap was quickly set. Zhang Hao took the bait immediately. It's his own fault. Jiang Feng didn't think he was being too extreme. You have to know that Zhang Hao was doing it for money at that time. I wish I could put him on the operating table and perform the surgery myself. After losing a kidney, Jiang Feng's life is definitely not much better than Zhang Hao's current one. Let's go. Jiang Feng didn't waste any more time. We returned to the villa soon. In a flash, a few days passed. Zhang Hao's affair became more popular than Jiang Feng expected. They hardly have to do anything. Zhang Hao was fired and the news spread to his hometown. Zhang Hao is completely disgraced. It is worth mentioning. The news that Song Rantian, president of the Song Group, was imprisoned spread like wildfire. The success caused the Song Group's stock price to drop again. Song Rantian was directly imprisoned for 3 days. I don't know any of this news at all. I finally got out today. Lin Meili, who had received the news long ago, hurriedly took the grapefruit juice. Sprinkled on Song Rantian. Get rid of the bad luck and go back. Lin Meili frowned as she spoke. Song Rantian waved Lin Meili away impatiently. If you weren't a person who is always causing trouble but not being able to do anything. I wouldn't suffer this either. Look at what a bad idea you came up with. If it weren't for your womanly kindness. Will Jiang Feng have a chance to shake me? All the problems were blamed on Lin Meili. Song Rantian's expression looked a little better. Forget it, there's no point in talking to you so much. After going in for a few days. I think there are a lot of things to do at the company, so I'll go back to the company first. As he spoke, he took out his cell phone to check the latest situation. As soon as I took out my phone, I saw a lot of discussion inside. You said the company's finance department went directly in. Isn't it? They came to arrest people yesterday. I was scared to death. See this message. Song Rantian sat up straight involuntarily. He hurriedly urged the driver, go back to the company. His intuition told him that something big had happened in the company. The driver didn't know why. But I still moved forward towards the company honestly. It's just that Song Rantian just arrived at the company. Haven't even entered the door yet. Someone from the agency just happened to come. Song Rantian, the Song Group is suspected of tax evasion. This is your ticket. After the agency staff gave him the relevant documents, they left. Song Rantian took the ticket and saw the number 30 million on it. The whole person was shaking. He had just sold the land and suffered a direct loss of 50 million. There is not even a penny left on the books. Not to mention 30 million. And because he stayed in there for a few days. He doesn't have much time left. Song Rantian never thought of it. He was reported for tax evasion by netizens. That's not all. All floors contracted by the Song family underwent a rigorous quality inspection, although it has reached the standard of use. But there are still some gaps between the contract and the original agreement. So there are already many enthusiastic people helping out. The collected evidence was given to former partners of the Song Group. The Song Group will soon be involved in various lawsuits. But it hasn't erupted yet. Song Rantien didn't have time to pay attention to these things. His only thought now was to quickly come up with 30 million. Fill this hole. After all, this money will earn a lot of interest every day. Borrow some money first. In desperation, Song Rantien could only swallow his pride and start borrowing money. The bank will not lend him money now. The others now saw Song Rantien. Just like seeing a mouse, he hid far away. Soon, news of the Song Group borrowing money spread. Lin Li found Jiang Feng as soon as she got the news. Chairman, how do you think we can target the Song Group this time? She felt it keenly. This is another good opportunity to trick Song Rantien. Maybe they can add insult to injury once more. But this time, Jiang Feng shook his head. We don't need to target him this time. Give him a hand. Although the Song family is in danger now. But a lean camel is bigger than a horse. Song holds the project in his hands. If Song Rantien were to pay more interest, you will never reach a desperate situation. But things were different when Jiang Feng helped. He could easily set a trap with this 30 million. This time, he wants Song Rantien to be ruined. Chapter 14, Helping in Times of Need. The Song Group was in a bleak state. Song Rantien, the man at the helm, had a face full of worry. A fine of 30 million was placed on his shoulders. It made him feel heavy. Just at this moment, the secretary suddenly strode in. Boss Song, Secretary Lin from Qinqiang Company is here. He spoke with some caution. Afraid of angering Song Rantien. Song Rantien, who was already feeling upset. Suddenly I remembered that Qinqiang Company had cheated me out of 60 million yuan. Immediately expressed. Not see. What he is worried about now is how to pay the fine. He had already suffered a huge loss from selling off his projects before. Continuing this operation could completely destroy the Song Group. But Lin Li is no pushover. He didn't even wait for the secretary to come out and reply. Instead, he went straight into the office. Does Mr. Song look down on secretaries like us? Why don't you see me? Lin Li had a light perfume on her body. The sexy hip skirt outlines her body proportions perfectly. The rise and fall of the chest is even more suggestive. She is also a stunner. In the past, Song Rantien might have been a little more patient. But today, he completely lost his composure. Is Secretary Lin here to add insult to injury? He naturally thought that Lin Li knew the current situation of the Song Group. Deliberately taking advantage. Mr. Song is joking. Lin Li chuckled and fiddled with her carefully styled hair. The biggest project of Qinqiang Group is now in the hands of President Song. We naturally don't want any more trouble to happen to the Song family. There was something ambiguous about what she said. Intentionally or unintentionally leading Song Rantien astray. What does Secretary Lin mean? How many years has he been in the business world as an elite? It soon became clear that Lin Li had something else in mind. Lin Li knew what her chairman meant. He took out the prepared contract directly. This contract is between the Qinqiang Group and the Song Group. A contract for the joint development of a plot of land on the outskirts of the city. After saying that, Lin Li handed the contract directly to Song Rantien. Song Rantien still had doubts in his mind. Everyone knows that all projects of the Song Group are now on hold. Qinqiang Company suddenly appeared and wanted to sign some contract. What the hell is this? Although I don't understand the reason. Song Rantien still patiently read the contract. When he saw the contract, it clearly stated that it was from the date the contract was signed. Qinqiang Group will allocate 30 million to the Song Group for land development. In the past, the Song Group would definitely not look down upon these 30 million. But now, the 30 million yuan just happened to solve Song Rantien's urgent need. If I sign today, can your company really transfer this money? Song Rantien raised his eyebrows slightly, with a gleam in his eyes. He has already read the contract, which is just an ordinary cooperation contract. There is no problem at all. The question now is whether the other party can really give money so readily. although our Chincheon company is not as well established as the Song Group. But it's also based on integrity. Lin Li said it straightforwardly, with a hint of pride in her tone. Song Rantien hesitated for a moment and raised his hand slightly. The secretary next to him was very tactful and handed over the pen. He signed his name without hesitation. Wait until Song Rantien signs. Lin Li picked up the documents and prepared to leave. But how could Song Rantien let the person go so easily when he hasn't even seen the money? But he didn't dare to offend the other party too much, so he could only speak euphemistically. Secretary Lin didn't even drink a sip of water. It's a bit unreasonable to leave in such a hurry. After saying this, Song Rantien secretly winked at the secretary. The secretary hurried downstairs to make tea. Lin Li sneered in her heart. As expected, Song Rantien was just as the chairman said, despicable and shameless. Even if my heart is full of disdain. But Lin Li's face remained cold. She calmly stopped the secretary. Mr. Song is too polite. I won't drink this cup of tea, I still have something to explain. As she spoke, Lin Li took out her cell phone. He took out his cell phone and made a call in front of Song Rantien. Finance, right? I'm Lin Li. The Song Group has signed the contract, and you can allocate funds now. After saying that, Lin Li hung up the phone. His facial expression remained unchanged, but in fact he was sneering a little in his heart. The chairman is really smart. Successfully tore off the face of Song Rantien, the old fox. Song Rantien, who was despised, did not feel the slightest discomfort. Instead, he smiled shamelessly. But what I was thinking in my heart was, can Secretary Lin really get financial funds with just one phone call? After all, there are far more twists and turns in the company than people think. Grants also require a process. Just when Song Rantien was feeling suspicious, the internal phone rang immediately. Mr. Song. We have received a grant of 30 million from Skydome Company. There were obviously some financial surprises. After all, the money came rather suddenly. No one had greeted him before. Hearing this, Song Rantien looked up at Lin Li in his heart. He felt that Secretary Lin's status was definitely much higher than he thought. Thinking of this, Song Rantien couldn't help but smile. Thank you for your hard work, Secretary Lin. Now that we are collaborating for the second time, why don't I host the party? How about having dinner with the chairman of your company? Song Rantien was actually thinking in his mind. Inviting Secretary Lin to dinner is secondary. The main purpose is to expose the person in power behind the Chincheon company through Secretary Lin. The other party can easily transfer 30 million. There will definitely be a lot of money in hand. If only I could get more. Didn't the Song Group's crisis just pass so easily? I have to say that Song Rantien had a good plan in mind. He has no idea at all. All of this was secretly done by Jiang Feng. Still foolishly falling into the trap. Naturally, Lin Li would not agree directly. I'll go back and ask the chairman for instructions on this matter first. After saying that, Lin Li went straight back to the company. And told Jiang Feng all these things. In the office of the chairman of Chincheon Company, Jiang Feng leaned back in his boss chair, his eyes deep. There was a sarcastic smile on the corner of his mouth. With only 30 million, Song Rantien from the Song Group took the initiative to invite him. It turns out that money is what moves people. The Song family in the past would never have taken 30 million seriously. But now, it seems that they are getting closer and closer to the goal of eroding the Song Group. His purpose in inviting me is definitely not simple. Jiang Feng, who has dealt with Song Rantien so many times. I understand it in my heart. Song Rantien is the kind of person who won't release the eagle until he sees the rabbit. There must be some plot in mind. But he was also somewhat looking forward to it. How would Song Rantien react if he saw that he was the chairman of the Song Group? Tell him I promise. Jiang Feng had a playful smile. Some can't wait. He was looking forward to seeing how Song Rantien would look when he knew that he was the chairman of Chincheon Company. The Song Group at this time. The 30 million yuan that had just arrived was used by Song Rantien to pay the fine. After all, you can't owe the country money indiscriminately. But just after he paid the fine, Lin Li's phone call came at the same time. Lin Li expressed that Jiang Feng was willing to have dinner together. Song Rantien stood up excitedly. This is a rare opportunity for him. How about tonight at 8 o'clock, Emperor Hotel? Song Rantian deliberately lowered his posture. Lin Li agreed without hesitation. Get an accurate reply. After Song Rantian hung up the phone, he went straight home. At this time, Lin Meili had just returned from a hospital. I just walked in, feeling exhausted and without time to wash up. Then he heard Song Rantian say, send a message to your sisters now. It is said that tonight, Chin Cheung Company and Song Group are celebrating. Chapter 15 Preparing for the banquet. To celebrate their second collaboration, Chin Cheung Company and Song Group. We specially held a banquet at the Imperial Hotel. When Song Rantian said this, the tone was somewhat light. Looks elated. It was as if he had become the high-spirited man he once was. After all, Chin Cheung Company is in a good momentum today. All companies are optimistic about Chin Cheung Company. The Chin Cheung Company, which everyone was optimistic about, was in danger when the Song Group was in danger. Actually cooperated with Song Group again. Everyone must want to know the tricks here. And Song Ran wanted to take advantage of this incident. Bring back all the people you lost before. Make good use of this. Maybe it can solve all the current problems of the Song Group. It can go even further. Lin Meili with a sad look on her face. I was stunned when I heard these words. You mean Sky Dome Company is cooperating with us? But didn't they fine us before? What do you know, a woman? We did make a mistake. Now that they have let bygones be bygones, we shouldn't think too much about it. Song Rantian knew that the Song Group was currently in deficit. It's because of Chin Cheung Company. But are there any eternal enemies in the business world? What if he knew the secrets of Chin Cheung Company? That is definitely not something that can be solved with 200 million. Lin Meili was blocked and pushed back. She felt a little unhappy, but soon she thought of another point. Now our Minga's health is getting worse and worse. I can't wait any longer. Today when she went to the hospital, the doctor has issued a critical illness notice. Nowadays, Song Ming's dialysis time is getting shorter and shorter. Various organs in the body have already experienced irreversible failure. If you keep putting it off, even having a kidney will be useless. Hear this. A strange light like a poisonous snake flashed in Song Rantian's eyes. Now we are using the reputation of the Sky Dome Company. Soon we will be able to get out of the mire. Wouldn't it be easy to force Jiang Feng to compromise by then? Besides, what if I really killed him? Can anyone find any traces? Song Rantian was angry at the man who sent him to prison. I'm so angry that my teeth are itching. Humph, that brat deserved to die. When the time comes, won't I, his biological mother, be the one to collect his body? Hearing this, Lin Meili looked a little disdainful. After all, Jiang Feng's father is a gambler. I don't even know which table I'm on yet. Okay, let's arrange the banquet tonight first. Song Rantian had no intention of continuing on this topic. Instead, he changed the subject. He first called the Imperial Hotel to book a venue. But the other party heard that it was the Song Group that wanted to reserve the venue. He immediately changed his expression. Mr. Song, you also know that business is not doing well nowadays, why don't you pay the deposit first? It's not much, just give us 200,000 and we'll prepare the materials. The tone sounds okay though. But the deep distrust inside successfully hurt Song Rantian. To put it nicely, it's 200,000. To put it bluntly, it means you have to pay first. A small banquet, with simple decoration, would only cost 200,000. But Song Rantian had never suffered such a loss before. In the past, the Daha Hotel even begged him to book banquets. But things are different now. Good. Song Rantian gritted his teeth and agreed. Wait until you hang up the phone. He slammed his phone onto the sofa. What the hell, I've never heard of a deposit before. Now you're asking me for these. Hearing this, Lin Meili's face also looked unhappy. She also cursed, these guys look down on others. Before she could continue, Song Rantian's eyes fell on her. I don't have any cash on hand right now, so use the money you have first. Hearing this, Lin Meili's body suddenly stiffened. She has spent a lot of money on Song Ming recently, and her little savings have long been gone. Talking about money now is almost like asking for her life. Lin Meili was about to refuse. But when he saw Song Rantian's eyes, which were somewhat vicious, he immediately swallowed his words back. I'll help you along. After saying that, she could only sell her jewelry to their best friend who had wanted it before. The other party was a little disgusted and deliberately lowered the price. In the end, he gave 100,000 reluctantly. Plus the money in Lin Meili's hand. I just collected 200,000 yuan and transferred it to Song Rantian. Song Rantian called the Emperor Hotel directly and asked the other party to make it look better. After receiving the money, the Dahao Hotel naturally did not say anything. After doing these, Song Rantian began to prepare for the evening banquet. Lin Meili also calmed down and dressed up. Remember not to embarrass me. If you mess up this cooperation, you will be in trouble. Song Rantian spoke very impolitely. Hear this. Lin Meili could only grit her teeth and find her most expensive dress. Wearing expensive jewelry. The couple attended the event in their best attire. In the east suburb villa on the other side. Inside the luxurious dressing room. A huge dressing mirror stands by the wall. The reflection in the mirror showed a young man of about 24 years old. Jiang Feng was wearing a handmade custom suit. She has a Patek Philippe watch on her wrist and her hair looks messy. In fact, it has been carefully taken care of. It looks lazy yet a bit noble. Lin Li was wearing a white long dress and standing next to Jiang Feng. She looks a bit like a little bird. She held a pair of cufflinks in her lotus root white hands. The red gemstone is inlaid with gold, which looks low-key and luxurious. The chairman looks really good. Looking at the man in front of her who looked young yet noble, Lin Li's face turned slightly red. After fixing the cufflinks, he took the initiative to tie Jiang Feng's tie. Because Jiang Feng is a little tall. Even if Lin Li is wearing high heels, she still has to tiptoe slightly. Chairman, could you lower your head a little? Lin Li tried 3 times but failed, so she could only ask Jiang Feng for help. Jiang Feng didn't think much about it and lowered his head subconsciously. As a result, I happened to see a pair of fair and tender hands, and my body was shocked. It just so happened that Lin Li was still rubbing against him to tie his tie. Jiang Feng couldn't help but feel his blood boiling. I didn't realize it before, but now I take a closer look at Lin Li's figure. At least there should be AD. Just at this moment, Lin Li raised her head and looked at Jiang Feng. The two of them only have each other in their eyes. The temperature began to rise steadily. It seemed that the gun was about to go off accidentally. Lin Li's cell phone rang at an inopportune time. The chairman is Song Rantian. Seeing the caller ID, Lin Li took out her phone and looked at Jiang Feng. Take it and tell them we'll be there on time. Jiang Feng straightened his clothes with a cold look. Lin Li answered the phone. As expected, Song Rantian's voice was heard with a hint of inquiry. Secretary Lin, it's already 7:40. When do you think the chairman will arrive? You should know that Song Rantian is holding a banquet today. However, many people were invited under the pretext of being the chairman of Qinqiang Company. There is not much time left now. If the chairman doesn't come, wouldn't he be extremely embarrassed? So Song Rantian wanted to make a phone call to test the waters. Listening to Song Rantian's cautious voice on the phone, Jiang Feng is looking forward to it. When his stepfather saw that he was the chairman of Qinqiang Company, what expression will it have? Is it a surprise or a shock? Jiang Feng suddenly thought of tonight's banquet. It is destined not to be peaceful. Lin Li didn't know what Jiang Feng was thinking. After telling the other party that they would arrive on time, they hung up the phone. Let's go. Don't keep Mr. Song waiting for too long. Chapter 16. The banquet begins. Banquet hall of Shanghai Dahao Hotel. The exquisite crystal chandelier emits a pale yellow light. The mixture of European and American style decoration makes it look very high-end. There is carefully prepared silk around it. Many successful people in suits, walking around with a well-dressed lady on her arm. The center of their attention was Song Rantian from the Song Group. Originally, the Song Group was exposed to various scandals. It has already been in danger. Everyone was ready to share the Song family's spoils. Who would have thought that the Song family was about to fall? Qinqiang Company emerged out of nowhere with a contract. This gave the Song Group a direct opportunity to turn things around. Welcome everyone to Song's banquet, enjoy yourselves. Song Rantian had a smile on his face. He took the initiative to walk over to the head of a company who had previously taken advantage of his misfortune. It was as if he had no idea that the other party had once taken advantage of him. Boss Liu, you are honored to come today. Song Rantian struck up a conversation deliberately. Mr. Liu twitched the corners of his mouth in embarrassment. He originally stepped on it. Who knows what will happen after this step? Not only did he not get any benefit, he also broke his foot. After all, the Song Group now has the cooperation of Qinqiong Company. None of their previous plans could come true. Now to repair the relationship, I can only hold my nose and pretend to be a grandson. Mr. Song is joking. After all, our two companies have been cooperating for many years. We will continue to cooperate with you for a long time in the future. I mean, whatever comes should come. Mr. Liu had a fawning smile on his face. With his start, people around him became more attentive. Song Rantian really enjoyed the feeling of being the center of attention. But he also knew how to strike a good balance. Didn't communicate with them much. Seeing Song Rantian being so proud of himself, many people were secretly dissatisfied. But now Qinqiong Company has achieved success in just a few days. I saw an income of no less than 300 million. The momentum is extremely strong. And those projects are not simple. So everyone should look at the Buddha instead of the monk. Moreover, the vast majority of people come mainly because I heard that the mysterious chairman of Qinqiong Company is about to appear. Everyone hopes to establish a relationship or collaborate on a project. But now there are only 5 minutes left before the banquet starts. They didn't even see anyone related to Skydome Company. This made everyone suspicious. You're not just talking nonsense, are you? Someone took the opportunity to instigate. Today, the Song Group is on the decline. Everyone came here for Qinqiong Company. Finally, almost everyone had arrived. No one from Skydome has shown up yet. In fact, it is not only these people who are anxious. Song Rantian was also very anxious. If the people from Qinqiong Company didn't come, his wishful thinking failed. At this time, Lin Meili also quietly walked to Song Rantian's side. Several of my sisters just asked me. People from the Sky Dome Company are not coming. If they don't come, they will want to leave first. The people she dated before were all in the business circle. The reason they came here is to establish connections with Qinqiong Company. Secretary Lin said that he would be there on time. Song Rantian also frowned. I took out my phone and checked, it was already 7:59. There was less than a minute left before the originally scheduled time. At this time, a black Rolls-Royce Phantom. It stopped silently in front of the Emperor Hotel. People who knew nothing began to talk about it. I don't think anyone from Skydome Company will come. Why don't we just go? Some people want to leave. Mr. Liu, who had been on good terms with Song Rantian before. I was secretly delighted. This Song Rantian is just trying to be brave. Now I have finally fallen. Think of this. Mr. Liu took the initiative to walk to Song Rantian with a glass of wine. I don't think anyone from Skydome Company will come. Brother Song, just start the banquet. I have something to do later. His attitude had obviously changed a lot at this time. He was clearly calling Mr. Song a few minutes ago. Now he has become Brother Song. But Song Rantian just couldn't care less. After all, Mr. Liu is also a relatively important supplier. What are you talking about, Mr. Liu? Song Rantian could only force himself to laugh. But I was already extremely anxious. At this time, some people had already started to leave quietly. The crowd in the originally crowded banquet hall began to disperse a lot. Just at this moment, a beautiful figure suddenly appeared at the door. Look carefully, isn't he this Lin Li? When he saw Lin Li, Song Rantian's eyes suddenly lit up. He hurried over. Secretary Lin, you are finally here. As he spoke, Song Rantian looked at the people behind him who were secretly mocking him. He introduced it proudly. This is Secretary Lin, who works for the chairman of the Sky Dome Group. Here Lin Li's identity. The person who was planning to leave secretly stopped. Secretary Lin is really a young and promising person. Could it be that the chairman of the Sky Dome Company that Song Rantian mentioned? Did you forget to say the word secretary? Actually, the person who was supposed to come was a secretary. Did he deliberately say chairman to mislead us? Really? Everyone started communicating again. Song Rantianxin sank to the bottom of the sea. But I still had to pretend to be calm and ask. Secretary Lin, didn't the chairman say he would come? Why haven't you come yet? He said this mainly to tell everyone that he did not lie. Lin Li naturally noticed Song Rantian's thoughts and sneered in her heart. The chairman is here, she said lightly. These words quickly attracted everyone's attention, especially Song Rantian. He even looked behind Lin Li without caring about his image. Where is the chairman? After all, a secretary came. The difference between him and the chairman is not a little bit. Compared to Song Rantian's anxiety, everyone's curiosity was also aroused. Qinqiang Company has achieved such success in just a few years. The future is limitless. I'm really curious about who this chairman is. I heard that this chairman was a failure before. The one who started the new business might be someone you all already know. Everyone was talking about it. Everything revolves around the chairman of Qinqiang Company. It was already 8:01. But no one dared to urge Song Rantian. It seems that everyone's appetite has been whetted. Lin Li suddenly became excited too. What would these people look like when they see the chairman? Especially Song Rantian. If it weren't for maintaining image. He wanted to run away immediately. Just when everyone was looking around and couldn't sit still, Lin Li suddenly walked to the left. This move immediately attracted everyone's attention. There's no time for everyone to react. Then I saw Lin Li stretching out her arms gracefully. In full view of the crowd, they began to applaud. Everyone was immediately confused by this operation. Facing everyone's doubts, Lin Li opened her red lips and said, "Welcome, Chairman." Hear this. Everyone's eyes instantly focused on the door. I saw a man in a black suit. A somewhat lazy young man walked in slowly from the door. Song Rantian was so excited that he tidied his clothes, trying to maintain a perfect image. Just when everyone was full of expectations, Lin Meili next to her suddenly made a sharp sound. Why is it you? Chapter 17. Everyone is shocked. Jiang Feng is the chairman. He is the chairman. As soon as these words came out, the people who were originally watching the show looked at Jiang Feng differently. It is true that heroes emerge young. Mr. Liu strode over and tried to get closer to Jiang Feng. The CEO of Moet Chandon had talked to him about Jiang Feng before. So he is the only one among this group of people who knows Jiang Feng's true identity. But Song Rantian absolutely could not accept this fact. Instead, he turned and looked at Lin Li. Secretary Lin, I wonder if you can continue to work at Sky Dome Company after the real chairman sees you protecting a yellow-haired boy like this. He spoke very rudely. Lin Li's expression immediately turned ugly. Jiang Feng is the real chairman. She was still stating the facts. Song Rantian thought completely differently. Most likely, this kid Jiang Feng hooked up with this Secretary Lin. In cahoots with her. Just to slap him in the face today. Secretary Lin is really good at deceiving his superiors and hiding the truth from his subordinates. Song Rantian would never believe it. Jiang Feng is the chairman of Qinqiang Company. Lin Meili looked at Song Rantian's expression. Years of tacit understanding made her know what she should do. So he pretended to be trying to persuade Jiang Feng with a sincere look on his face and walked up to him. Kid, I know you don't want to donate a kidney to your brother, but now is not the time for you to mess around. If the chairman knows about this, it will be bad for you. These words seemed to be trying to excuse Jiang Feng. It also successfully made everyone think about it. Everyone knows clearly why the Song group went downhill. Isn't it because of forcing the stepson to donate a kidney? Now this stepson is doing everything he can, just to embarrass Song Rantian. That makes sense. So the crowd, who were originally quite enthusiastic, his expression suddenly dimmed. He. Jiang Feng sneered. Originally, he had not planned to act so quickly. Since Song Rantian is so eager to die, then he will just help the other party. Mr. Song, the contract signed between Qinqiang Company and you today states that construction will begin as soon as the funds are received. It's already 8 o'clock in the evening. How are your plans going? If you don't follow the contract, I'll sue you again. Jiang Feng's words were merciless. Song Rantian's expression also changed slightly. You have a relationship with Secretary Lin, so knowing this is nothing to worry about. If you want to use the contract to pressure me, you must have the power to do so. After all, he is a seasoned man and will not be threatened by just a few words. Secretary Lin. Jiang Feng didn't waste any words and looked directly at Lin Li. Lin Li immediately took out her cell phone and called the project department. The chairman said that the suburban project needs to be worked overtime overnight, so let the Song Group arrange people to start construction now. After she finished speaking, Lin Li hung up the phone. Soon Song Ranqian's cell phone rang. It was his secretary. Boss Song, why did Qinqiang Company suddenly ask us to work overnight? Song Ranqian didn't give him time to finish his words and hung up the phone. After all, it's in public. We cannot let people know that the Song Group is suffering from severe internal deficits. There is not a penny on the books. Secretary Lin, you are abusing your power. Is it really worth it to throw away your bright future for a yellow-haired boy? Song Ranqian could only hope that Lin Li was not that confused. In fact, the one who was confused was not Lin Li, but Song Ranqian. He himself cannot recognize the truth. Instead, I think Lin Li helped Jiang Feng suppress them. Lin Li just found it funny. The chairman has spoken. I am just a person who does things. What right do you have to accuse me of abusing my power? Could it be that Mr. Song has abused his power so many times that he thinks everyone is the same as you? She became less polite in her speech. The chairman of Qinqiang Company rarely shows up on weekdays. It was Lin Li, the secretary, who was socializing outside. Everyone treated her with great courtesy. I didn't expect to meet such a confused person today. Do you really think I'm a fool? Song Ranqian snorted coldly and decided to play his trump card. You can find everything on the internet now. The largest shareholder and legal person of Qinqiang Company is surnamed Zhao. After all, before cooperating with Qinqiang Company, he has put in a lot of effort. However, the information on the internet is not updated in a timely manner. Song Ranqian had no idea. Now, 100% of Qinqiang Company's shares are under Jiang Feng's name. So when he said this, there is also a hint of complacency. It's just a bit of a clever move. In fact, it fell into Jiang Feng's eyes. A complete clown from beginning to end. In that case, how about I ask Secretary Lin to call Chairman Zhao over for a confrontation? Jiang Feng remained calm. Instead, I look forward to this self-righteous stepfather knowing the truth. What a beautiful look that would be. Okay. I'm just afraid you don't dare. Song Ranqian thought he was smart and felt that Lin Li was very likely to have cheated. The people who did not leave were all in a spectator's mood. Was it the stepson who was pretending to be him, or was it the stepson who successfully counterattacked? They are really looking forward to it. At this moment, Mr. Liu, who had been silent all the time, suddenly spoke. Our empty accusation doesn't cost anyone anything. How about we make a bet? There was a hint of calculation on Mr. Liu's fat face. Others don't know whether Jiang Feng is the real chairman. But he knew what was going on. So Mr. Liu must take advantage of this opportunity. The Song Group, which was deceived, completely disintegrated. Song Ranqian was so angry at the moment that he didn't think too much about it. Let's just go with this topic. Just as Mr. Liu said, let's make a bet. If you, Jiang Feng, are really the chairman of Qinqiang Company, I will publicly apologize to you. On the contrary, I want you to go to the hospital immediately and donate a kidney to my son. Jiang Feng found this funny. A simple apology and kidney donation as a bet, aren't the conditions too unequal? I want. Chapter 18, Gambling. I want 50% of your property. As soon as these words came out, the whole audience was in an uproar. After all, the Song Group is a company. Even if it really goes bankrupt, Song Ranqian just lost the chicken that laid eggs. It is impossible to affect his life at all. But 50% of Song Ranqian's property is under his name. That's not a concept anymore. You have quite an appetite. Song Ranqian's eyes were filled with a cold look. Where? Compared with 50% of the property and your own son's life, it seems to be quite cost-effective. After all, you only have one son. Without a son, who will inherit all this wealth? Jiang Feng sneered back. Song Ranqian rarely showed a frustrated look. Indeed, there is no son anymore. It can be said that Song Ranqian has no successor. Heard someone cursing his son. Lin Meili couldn't sit still anymore. Jiang Feng, I should have strangled you to death back then. Otherwise, I will hear you cursing my son here today. These words are really discouraging. Then I have to thank you for not killing me. After all, Jiang Feng is not the original owner and has no feelings for him. Mr. Song, do you think that letting a woman come out to make jokes? Then you can just lie still and keep quiet. He looked at Song Rantian, who had a gloomy face beside him, with a somewhat sarcastic tone. Could it be that in your eyes, you're son of a bastard? Is it not as great as your huge family business? You? Song Rantian heard Jiang Feng calling his son a bastard in front of so many people. I can't stand it at all. Don't think we have no way to verify it. Who is the chairman of Chinchung Company? You are just talking nonsense here without restraint. Isn't it just half of the family fortune? I'll give it to you, but I want to add some conditions. I want you, Jiang Feng, to kneel down every time you lose. Kowtow 49 times to my son and beg him to accept your kidney. This move is even more cruel. Ask Jiang Feng to donate a kidney, and ask a certain person to accept it. It's simply murderous and heartbreaking. Har har, if I lose, let alone 49. Even 100 heads will do. Jiang Feng remained calm. This made the original spectators suddenly want to watch the show. Mr. Liu's eyes were shining. Since you have agreed on the terms, this matter is settled. We can all bear witness to this. He was afraid that Song Rantian would go back on his word, so he quickly spoke up and finalized it. After all, Mr. Liu has always been a supplier of the Song Group. I don't know how much profit was lost. If the Song Group was gone, he could definitely take over. By then, Mr. Liu has beautiful thoughts in his mind. Although Song Rantian hated this troublemaker, but under the watchful eyes of the public, I had no choice but to accept it. Since the conditions have been agreed upon, I wonder how Mr. Song plans to authenticate it. Lin Li took the initiative to speak. After all, the chairman's contact information was not made public before. Or it's only in her hands. Of course I brought my ID and company establishment documents for comparison. Song Rantian said it very straightforwardly. This is not difficult. Okay, I'll call Chairman Zhao right now. Let him bring all the information. Lin Li agreed without hesitation. He took out his cell phone and called the former chairman. At this time, Mr. Zhao was planning to arrange immigration with a large sum of money. Unexpectedly, my secretary called me suddenly. He immediately answered the call in confusion. Mr. Zhao, we have encountered some trouble here. You need to bring everything. Lin Li simply explained the situation. Mr. Zhao agreed immediately. After all, he hasn't met the mysterious man who bought Skydome Company. In the banquet hall of the Imperial Hotel, Lin Li hung up the phone and looked at Song Rantian in front of her with cold eyes. I hope Mr. Song can keep his word and not regret it at the last minute. Of course, I hope Secretary Lin can turn back as soon as possible. Don't cheat. Even now, Song Rantian still firmly believes that he is right. Mr. Liu next to him shook his head as he watched. I don't know about this brain. How did he manage the Song Group for so many years? Jiang Feng turned around and originally planned to find a place to sit down. As a result, Lin Meili saw his actions with her sharp eyes. Jiang Feng, you are not afraid of being exposed. You want to run away now. Originally everyone was just waiting to watch the show. Suddenly I heard this voice and immediately became alert. Can't I just sit down and wait somewhere? Jiang Feng's tone was cold. But in Lin Meili's opinion, this is just an excuse. I think you just want to run away. Thinking of this, Lin Meili strode over. She blocked the door like a shrew. You promised yourself that if you lose, you will donate your kidney. We are not forcing you to do this, don't even think about running away. Looking at Lin Meili's image, Jiang Feng's eyes darkened. Lin Meili thought she had exposed Jiang Feng. I was secretly feeling proud. In order to avoid destroying one's image too much, she pretended to be generous. It's not nice to bother Mr. Zhao so late at night. If you are willing to kowtow 3 times to Ming Er and donate a kidney, we won't bother with this matter. Looking at Lin Meili's pretentious look, Jiang Feng felt very disgusted. Lin Li next to him noticed Jiang Feng's displeasure. He immediately stood up to defend his chairman. Mrs. Song, is your son dead? We also asked our chairman to kowtow 3 times. If I die. For the sake of the dead. I'd like to kowtow to the chairman. Of course, the premise is that the person is dead. Otherwise, I'm afraid you'll say I cursed your son. Lin Li's words seemed to show her concern for Song Ming. In fact, his words were mocking Lin Meili. Lin Meili's face twisted with anger. How dare you curse my son to death, you bitch? She wanted to scratch Lin Li's face. Teach her a good lesson. Didn't you say you wanted to kowtow 3 times? In my hometown. This rule is only followed when offering incense to the dead. Lin Li is eloquent and never admits defeat. I'll strangle you to death. Lin Meili finally couldn't hold back anymore. Rushed towards Lin Li. But she was old after all. And she has been a rich lady for so many years. After all, he is no match for the young woman. Lin Li easily avoided Lin Meili's attack. She also took the opportunity to step hard on Lin Meili's foot with her high heels. Lin Meili let out a scream immediately. Subconsciously, he wanted to ask Song Rantian to help him. Song Rantian looked at the image in front of him that had completely disappeared. A woman who is like a shrew. There was a flash of disgust in his eyes. That's enough, isn't it embarrassing enough? When Chairman Zhao comes and sees you like this. What do you want people to think of me? Song Rantian did this to maintain his dignity. He didn't care about Lin Meili at all. Lin Meili felt a chill in her heart. When we were about to have a quarrel, there was a sound of a car outside. Song Rantian's expression suddenly broke. He looked towards the door with some anticipation. Everyone stretched their necks. Chapter 19 Chairman Zhao is here. In everyone's eager anticipation, I saw a young man in his early 30s coming to the door. A little fat, but with clear eyes. Nothing he wears is cheap. There was a briefcase in his hand. It feels a bit like a local tycoon. Mr. Zhao walked into the banquet hall. I found that everyone paid a lot of attention to me. But he didn't show any embarrassment. Instead, he greeted Lin Li naturally. Lin Li, long time no see, you are still so beautiful. That's what I said. He is totally different from the person that everyone thinks founded the Sky Company. Song Rantian spoke even more directly. Secretary Lin, even if you find someone to impersonate you, we should also find one that is more appropriate. At this point he had already determined that the short and fat man was the imposter. Who knew that when Director Zhao heard this, he immediately became unhappy. Who said I was pretending? I founded and registered Qinqiong Company myself. As he said that, he took out all the documents directly from the briefcase. Especially the business certificates and the like. The steel stamp on it cannot be forged. Seeing this, Song Rantian's expression suddenly changed. But he is also flexible. He immediately changed his expression. Mr. Zhao, please forgive my poor eyesight. I really didn't recognize your identity. Song Rantian was very enthusiastic. After all, the proof is here. He couldn't deny it even if he wanted to. However, Zhao Quan's name was written all over the industrial and commercial certificate. It has absolutely nothing to do with Jiang Feng. So when he looked at Jiang Feng, his expression suddenly changed. Jiang Feng, the evidence is here. Do you have anything else to defend yourself? Lin Meili next to her also quietly looked at the certificate. After confirming that the 2 words written on it were Zhao Quan, I calmed down immediately. Mr. Liu was also a little surprised. I didn't expect that Zhao Quan's name was written on these documents of Qinqiong Company. Did I really make a mistake? In fact, it's not just Mr. Liu. The expressions on the faces of the others were also very interesting. This young man looks quite energetic. I didn't expect someone to impersonate me. And this Secretary Lin is so bold. He really abused his power and deceived his superiors and subordinates. Public opinion instantly turned towards Song Rantian. Some people even took the initiative to come and build relationships with Zhao Quan. Director Zhao, we are Yilin Company. Do you think we can cooperate? These people have completely different attitudes towards Zhao Quan and Jiang Feng. One heaven and one earth. Zhao Quan looked at these people in confusion. No, I am now the person in charge of Qinqiong Company. There is no point in discussing this with me. He tried to explain. But Song Rantian wouldn't believe it at all. Instead, he directly attacked Jiang Feng, who was calm and composed. Jiang Feng, we agreed before. If the chairman of Chincheon Company is really not you, you have to kowtow to my son and donate a kidney. Now that the person is here, you are not going to change your mind at the last minute, are you? Song Rantien said this bluntly. Or, if you don't want to obey the bet, I am also willing to personally force you to fulfill it. If you are willing to cooperate honestly, I can still spare your life. As he spoke, a ferocious look appeared on his face. The Song group was in turmoil during this period. Most of them were because of Jiang Feng in front of them. I, Jiang Feng, am willing to accept defeat, but Jiang Feng hasn't finished speaking yet. Lin Meili couldn't wait to interrupt him. Then go donate a kidney to my son now. I never thought your gambling father would teach you to be such a bastard. How dare you pretend to be someone else? You are still shameless after being exposed. I really regret giving birth to you. Although Lin Meili's hair is a little messy now. Looks like a crazy woman. But the tone was very excited. It was as if I saw the hope of my son's life. What's going on? Zhao Quan frowned. There was a hint of dissatisfaction in his eyes when he looked at Lin Meili. My stepson is ignorant, so I'll teach him a lesson. Song Rantien noticed Zhao Quan's mood change. He quickly tried to smooth things over and maintain his image in front of Zhao Quan. Zhao Quan was not deaf either, and spoke directly. I heard this lady say someone was pretending to be me. Lin Meili didn't care about her image at this time. Just want to demote Jiang Feng to the dust. Without giving Song Rantien a chance to speak, Lin Meili spoke directly. It's my good son. He insisted that he was the chairman of Chincheon Company. And he even brazenly made a bet with us. Now the real chairman is here. Why don't you just keep your promise? As soon as these words came out, Zhao Quan's expression changed. Chairman Zhao. I called you here today just to testify. Lin Li stood up at the critical moment and directly explained the reason. Chairman Lin originally wanted to cooperate with the Song group again today. As a result, I came to the banquet in person. But he was questioned as not being the real chairman of Chincheon Company. Besides, Mr. Song of the Song group is too bullying, so we. She explained the whole story in detail. After hearing this, Zhao Quan's expression changed immediately. The look he gave Jiang Feng was immediately filled with respect. I was so blind that I didn't recognize Chairman Jiang. The chairman is really a young and promising man. After saying this, he took the initiative to smile ingratiatingly, bent down and stretched out his hand. This is totally lowering your posture. It also invisibly elevated Jiang Feng's status. Faced with Zhao Quan's behavior, Jiang Feng just extended his hand indifferently. He shook hands with the other party. But Zhao Quan was not angry at all. He also showed a very honored expression. After all, this big boss bought the company for 2 billion in full. But the people around who didn't know the truth were stunned. Especially Song Rantien, his smile suddenly froze on his face. Chairman Zhao, you are the actual controlling shareholder of the company. Why do you call this yellow-haired boy chairman? Song Rantien's tone was questioning. Then, his face suddenly darkened. Suddenly I thought of a possibility. Did you do it for a woman? Are you willing to be humble and submissive? After all, Chairman Zhao greeted Lin Li as soon as he entered the room. He also called the other person more and more beautiful. This is not hard to mislead. I think Chairman Zhao did this for Lin Li. You can do irrational things. Secretary Lin and I are innocent. Don't slander people. Hearing this, Zhao Quan's expression became even uglier. I have indeed transferred the company to Chairman Jiang. He is the real chairman of Chincheon Company. Zhao Quan said directly. When these words were spoken, people around sighed. Several small companies that originally wanted to establish relationships looked a little embarrassed. Song Rantien felt a surge of blood rushing to his head. I didn't expect that Zhao Quan was such a lustful person. For a woman to say this. Chairman Zhao, you still need evidence to speak. He said coldly. Who said I have no evidence? Chapter 20 Produce evidence. Who said I have no evidence? Zhao Quan took out a contract directly from his briefcase. It was laid out directly in front of everyone. This is a company transfer agreement. It is stated above that all shares of the company have been transferred 100%. And the person who received the shares was Jiang Feng. When Song Rantien saw the contract, he felt his head buzzing. I thought to myself, no wonder Jiang Feng is so fearless. It turns out that preparations had been made long ago. Chairman Zhao must speak according to his conscience. You can't confuse right and wrong for a woman. After all, your name is still on this business certificate. Song Rantian gritted his teeth and continued talking about the business certificate. Are you blind or brainless? Zhao Quan spoke even more impolitely. Didn't you see that I just transferred this company to Chairman Jiang not long ago? These names have naturally not been changed. As he spoke, he took out the date. Everyone take a closer look. It was discovered that the company had been transferred to Jiang Feng less than a month ago. No wonder the documents haven't been changed. Looking at the date, Song Rantian's face darkened. I thought to myself, could it be that Zhao Quan was secretly colluding with Jiang Feng and the others? Just want his property. Thinking of this, Song Rantian quickly came to his senses. Chairman Zhao, since there is a transfer agreement. So how do you trade? It can't be given away for nothing. He grasped this point and even felt that he was very wise. I actually noticed this problem. Of course it's not given away for free. Speaking of this, Zhao Quan still felt a little guilty. He took 2 billion. But all the things in this company added up are worth only 1.6 billion at most. All in all, he achieved for more small goals. But when Song Rantian saw Zhao Quan's guilty look, he thought he was right. The momentum immediately became much stronger. I didn't expect Chairman Zhao to be so far-sighted. He has long coveted Song's property and set up this trap. These words were just short of directly saying that Zhao Quan was shameless. The expressions of the people watching the show around suddenly changed. After all, if the chairman of Qinqiang Company were to resort to such unscrupulous means, not a good ally for them. After all, it is the Song Group that is being targeted now. Who knows who will be next? Bullshit. Zhao Quan finally couldn't help cursing out loud. I originally thought that the Song Group had been a company for decades. He is a reasonable person. I didn't expect that this person is such a good slanderer. As he said that, he took out his cell phone. Found the transaction certificate before January. Look, the contract states that I transferred Qinqiang Company to Jiang Feng for 2 billion. And here is the transfer of 2 billion. This time, Song Rantian's eyes widened. Lin Meili next to her took the phone in disbelief. I compared it carefully with the contract. How is this possible? Jiang Feng lived in a dilapidated house a month ago. How can you afford to buy the Skydome Company? She muttered in disbelief. Song Rantian also showed a look of shock. 2 billion, even he would have to sell most of his assets to raise the money. Where did Jiang Feng get the money? Chairman Zhao, stop putting on a show. Song Rantian still held onto the last glimmer of hope. As a result, Zhao Quan snorted coldly. Look, add me, Zhao Quan, to Qinqiang Company. Can we raise 2 billion by selling it all? You are so filthy inside, yet you are still here making malicious assumptions about others. This was the last straw that broke the camel's back. Everyone finally turned their attention to Jiang Feng, who hadn't said much. I didn't expect this young man to be so generous. Chairman Jiang, I was blind to the truth before. Don't bother with me. Some people have already started to curry favor. I wish I hadn't taken the initiative to talk to Zhao Quan before. Jiang Feng looked at the ugly faces of these people coldly and said nothing. Watch the twists and turns that are comparable to the drama of the year. Mr. Liu knew that his goal was about to be achieved. Then he took the initiative to speak. Mr. Song. The bet you made with Chairman Jiang before. Is it time to fulfill it? Hearing this, Song Rantian's face turned as dark as the bottom of a pot. Lin Meili next to her reacted immediately. Jiang Feng. You are so rich now. Why would you fight with your brother for something? Her originally ugly face. He forced out some kindness. Lin Meili was originally a gold digger. Now I know my son is so rich. Naturally, I won't become completely hostile to him. According to what Mom said, let's just let this matter go. In the future, we can help each other and move forward, right? Yes. If Ming'an knew that his brother was so capable, they will target you too. Lin Meili at this time. Completely different from the noble lady before. She also really performed a face-changing show in front of Jiang Feng. Jiang Feng just felt it was extremely ironic. So in your eyes, the difference between being rich and poor is so huge. He said coldly. When I lost, you wanted to take out my kidney yourself. What about now? I think my son has some ability. Do you intend to leave yourself a way out? That's a very impolite statement. Even though Lynn Maley had a thick skin, she couldn't help but twitch. How can you talk like that? Am I still your mother? Besides, it was you who misled us by living in that dangerous building. Why else would we treat you like that? Lynn Maley also tried to restore her image. If I didn't live in a dangerous building, I still can't see your true face. If you had known I had money, I guess you will not only want my kidney. He will also try to take my money as well. Jiang Feng snorted coldly, his eyes were extremely cold. Lynn Maley was speechless, she indeed had this idea. The people around were trying to please Jiang Feng. Naturally, he began to attack Lynn Maley. The rich are sons, and the poor are weeds. Is this kind of person qualified to be a mother? I didn't realize before that Mr. Song is this kind of person. Fortunately, I cancelled the cooperation long ago. The word in cahoots. It's the perfect way to describe this couple. People around were talking about it. Song Rantian knew. My image has completely collapsed in the eyes of these people. He hates it so much. Jiang Feng, you are very good. Song Rantian gritted his teeth and said these 5 words. You don't need to tell me whether I am good or not. But I know you will be ill soon. Jiang Feng flicked off the almost non-existent dust on his clothes. I'll give you 12 hours to sort out half of your property. If you exceed the time limit, you will bear the consequences yourself. After saying that, Jiang Feng left the banquet directly. Zhao Quan and Lin Li followed closely behind. The people around him looked at Song Rantian as if he were a stray dog. Mr. Liu, who achieved his goal, seemed to have good intentions. He walked up to Song Rantian with a smile on his face. Patted him on the shoulder. Brother Song, it's time for your Song group to step down and let others take over. After saying that, Mr. Liu left with a smile. I thought today's banquet was not in vain. Little did they know that after he left. Song Rantian looked at him with murderous eyes. Jiang Feng, Liu Pai, wait for me. I will never let you go. Chapter 21 Dangerous Contract. The banquet at the Emperor Hotel ended in a bad mood. When Song Rantian returned home, his heart was still roaring with anger. Jiang Feng, how could he buy out the Sky Dome company in full? Just because of his gambling addict father. There are problems here no matter how you look at it. Song Rantian couldn't calm down for a long time. But after today's meeting, he finally understood where the bad luck came from. Maybe from the beginning. Chinchung Company's claim just emptied the Song Group's working capital. Every step was a trap designed by Jiang Feng long ago. But he had to jump in. Now the most terrifying thing is, during the day he also signed a contract with Sky Dome. Remember this contract? Song Rantian quickly picked up the phone and called his secretary. You should immediately sign the contract. Send all of them carefully to my mobile phone. How happy he was when he signed the contract. So now, how scared he was in his heart. Although Jiang Feng is young, he is extremely scheming. Even though I was sold out by him, I still felt that I made a profit. The secretary didn't know what exactly happened. But this depends on the contract. Most likely there was a conflict with the Chinchung Company. So the secretary didn't dare to delay. After finding the contract, I sent it over quickly. On the surface, there is nothing wrong with this contract. The only doubt is the time. It says that construction will start immediately and the construction period will be 3 months. If it exceeds 3 months, you will need to pay 10 times the amount of the entire project. This time the amount is 10 times. It is entirely possible to bankrupt his Song Group. 3 months. Do you think that the Song Group cannot start construction without materials? Song Rantian's eyes were dark. If nothing unexpected happens. The suppliers who recently cut off cooperation with him. They were all instructed by Jiang Feng. But it doesn't matter, he can still look for partners outside. With this thought in mind, Song Rantian put down his phone. I breathed a sigh of relief. But when I think of that brat Jiang Feng, I want half of all the property under my name tomorrow. His face was a little distorted. This kid has such a big appetite, isn't he afraid of eating himself to death? Since it is my property, If I don't have any property in my name, I don't know what you can get. Song Rantian didn't dare to rest and started operating immediately. Logically speaking, his property should be transferred to Lin Meili's name. But Song Rantian still felt privately that this woman was unreliable. A woman who comes for money. Once he has the money, he might run away with his property. Just to be safe. He could only register all his properties under the name of the company. Although it doesn't belong to him in name. But in reality, there was no difference between it and his own. Song Rantian thinks he is smart. But he had no idea that his every move was seen by Jiang Feng. Just when Song Rantian was transferring his property, Lin Li had already walked up to Jiang Feng with first-hand information. Song Rantian, this shameless man, actually transferred his property. The little girl had a hint of anger on her face, and her pretty face was flushed. It looks like an apple that makes you want to take a bite. Jiang Feng also had the same idea. However, he did not take any action, but looked at the message in Lin Li's hand. I'm just afraid he won't turn. Jiang Feng sneered. Before, the company was the company and Song Rantian was Song Rantian. Even if the company goes bankrupt, Song Rantian still has a lot of assets in his hands. It's only a matter of time before you make a comeback. But now, Song Rantian didn't want to give Jiang Feng a penny. All assets were directly transferred to the company. As a result, the company ceased to exist. Naturally, all of Song Rantian's assets disappeared. Did you do this on purpose? Lin Li looked at Jiang Feng with an expression that seemed to be planning a strategy. I reacted immediately. No wonder Jiang Feng could have asked for it on the spot. But I deliberately gave it 12 hours. It turned out that a trap had been set long ago, waiting for Song Rantian to fall into it. It was a spur-of-the-moment decision. After all, before going, he never thought about making a bet with Song Rantian. But someone gave me the opportunity. How could he possibly refuse? Then you are amazing. Song Rantian, this old fox. This is like tying oneself up in knots. Lin Li's tone was somewhat expectant. The night passed quietly. The next morning arrived quickly. Song Rantian didn't dare to delay now. So he arranged the vehicle early in the morning. I went to take a look at the land written in the contract of Qinqiong Company. I originally thought that Qinqiong Company was small in scale. Even if we really want to buy it, it won't be a very large piece of land. But when he arrived at the scene, the vast expanse of land immediately made him gasp. This is at least hundreds of acres of land. No matter what you build, it's impossible to complete it within 3 months. Jiang Feng. When I think of the Song Group that I have worked so hard to maintain, it will soon turn into smoke and dissipate. Song Rantian was so angry that his teeth were itching. This kid actually plotted against him again. Boss, it's not time for us to lose heart. Qinqiong Company contracted it to us. We can naturally outsource it to others. The secretary gave advice at the critical moment. This is a good idea, to divert the trouble away. Then let's contact those groups first. Song Rantian's eyes darkened. It would be best if we could drag the guy named Liu into this. This damn brat actually dared to plot against him behind his back. Song Rantian would not be able to swallow this humiliation unless he killed him. By the way, go check for me who Jiang Feng has been in contact with recently. He just didn't believe that a poor boy could really achieve success overnight. If you are really that rich, who would live in a slum? Yes. The secretary did not hesitate and immediately took out his cell phone to give the order. Song Rantian took a deep look at the land. Finally, his eyes darkened and he returned to the company. He doesn't care what method he uses now. We must tie a few people together and board the pirate ship. Otherwise, the Song Group. The only way out is bankruptcy. With this thought in mind, Song Rantian walked quickly towards his office. Just at this moment, the girl at the front desk came over quickly. Mr. Song, someone. My younger sister was originally planning to say something. But he was frightened by Song Rantian's somewhat ferocious look. I couldn't utter a single word after that. You useless bastard. Can't you even speak a word? Song Rantian snorted coldly, his eyes grim. Don't worry, Mr. Song, I'll tell her to get out right away. Someone nearby came over and took the receptionist away. Song Rantian's expression looked a little better. He strode towards the office. Just when I was about to get on the elevator, A familiar male voice suddenly appeared behind him. "You're so angry so early in the morning. Mr. Song, did you not have a good rest?" Jiang Feng strode out with a sneer on his face. "Why are you here?" Chapter 22. It turns out that Mr. Song is a pauper. Why are you here?" When he saw Jiang Feng, a look of panic flashed across Song Ranqian's face. After all, he did a lot of bad things. "Didn't I tell Mr. Song yesterday? You are only given 12 hours to count your assets." Jiang Feng remained calm. But the smile on his lips seemed a bit sarcastic no matter how you looked at it. "I was just scared today by the construction site and contract issues." Song Ranqian hasn't realized this yet. However, after Jiang Feng's reminder, he immediately calmed down. "Chairman Jiang wants half of my property. It was a wrong calculation," he said coldly. Jiang Feng was not panicked at all. "I know that Mr. Song stayed up all night last night. All the properties under his name were registered under the name of the company." He spoke in a nonchalant tone, and didn't seem to be worried about the money. Song Ranqian thought he had done it without anyone noticing. Unexpectedly, Jiang Feng already knew the truth. But what if Jiang Feng knew? "Chairman Jiang didn't say that I'm not allowed to transfer property." Song Ranqian felt that his action yesterday was definitely the wisest. Looking at Song Ranqian, he didn't seem to think he had done anything wrong. Jiang Feng thought to himself, "Sooner or later you will regret it." But now, Jiang Feng suddenly felt that some revenge could be taken. "Of course I didn't say that Mr. Song couldn't transfer his property, it's just." He walked towards Song Ranqian step by step. There was disdain on his handsome face. "But I didn't expect Mr. Song. He didn't even leave a penny for himself." As soon as these words came out, the people passing by secretly slowed down their pace. Their intuition told them that there was something big to be had. Song Ranqian didn't realize something was wrong at this time. "Leave a penny and give you 5 cents. With you like this, I won't leave you even a cent," he said coldly, feeling vaguely relieved. He. Jiang Feng couldn't help but chuckle. "Mr. Song is really humorous. I'm not interested in your money. It's just that Mr. Song can't afford the gamble." As he spoke, Jiang Feng glanced at the people present. As expected, everyone's eyes were filled with curiosity and shock. Some people even couldn't help whispering, "Mr. Song lost the bet with Chairman Jiang last night." Someone who knew the inside story gave everyone some basic information. After knowing the whole story, everyone's eyes changed when they looked at Song Ranqian. "Boss Song is really cruel," someone said with a hint of admiration. But soon, someone chuckled and refuted. "It's pretty cruel. Overnight, I became a penniless person without a penny." "That's right, most people can't do this kind of cool operation." Those employees looked at Song Ranqian with a hint of sarcasm in their eyes. Song Ranqian has always been a favored child of heaven. When have you ever had anything to do with being a pauper? "Jiang Feng, you." Song Ranqian's face suddenly darkened when he realized that he had been tricked. "I never thought that after spending all day hunting geese, I would be pecked in the eye by an eagle. Why didn't I realize that Jiang Feng was a big shot before? What's wrong with me? I'm doing this for Mr. Song's sake. We have also specially arranged for a number of media to report on how you will transfer all your property. What about selfless dedication to the company?" The words fell. Jiang Feng clapped his hands. I saw a dozen media pouring out of the lounge. He started filming Song Ranqian. "Boss Song, I heard that the Song Group has been suffering losses for years. That's why you need to fill in all of your assets worth hundreds of millions. Is this news true?" The reporter's question was very sharp. "Any carelessness may cause turmoil in the Song Group." "No. I just registered my own property under the company's name." Song Ranqian told the truth with a cold face, but in his heart he wished he could cut Jiang Feng into pieces. "I didn't expect this kid to use such a trick." "Then why did Mr. Song give away his property? All of it is registered under the company name without a single cent left." "It's because you lost the bet yesterday, but you're not convinced. Don't you want others to take advantage of you?" The media had already received information from Jiang Feng. In addition, the Song Group has been at the center of controversy recently. So the questions asked are quite sharp. Song Ranqian only felt that his actions were among the issues raised by the media. "It's like giving myself a few slaps in the face invisibly. Especially the last few words. It would be wrong for Song Rantian to answer, but it would also be wrong not to answer. Where are the security guards? Are they just there to eat and do nothing? Why don't you ask them to leave? Song Rantian finally couldn't bear it anymore. The reporters had already gotten the information they wanted and didn't ask for too much attention. Bite. Congratulations to their host for successfully slapping his face and getting a chance to draw a prize. The system's voice sounded in Jiang Feng's mind. Jiang Feng smiled generously and in a friendly manner. I hope Mr. Song won't regret not giving me half of his wealth. There was clearly nothing wrong with what he said. But to Song Rantian's ears, it sounded as ironic as it could be. If he hadn't been concerned about the large number of people, he would definitely have made Jiang Feng get out. Looking at Song Rantian's hateful eyes, Jiang Feng smiled slightly. He left the Song group directly with Lin Li, who had had enough of the melon. Chairman, you are so amazing. Look at that old fox Song's face, it's even more exciting than eating shit. After leaving the group, Lin Li gave Jiang Feng a thumbs up. It turns out that these wealthy people are not only good at playing, but also have very sharp brains. The kind that can make people angry to death without having to pay with their lives. Today is nothing. The next time we see Song Rantian, I guarantee his face will be even more exciting than today's. Jiang Feng smiled faintly, feeling happy from the bottom of his heart. At least I got some interest back. But he would never have thought of it. The media that were driven out by Song Rantian were not far away at this time. Someone even captured Jiang Feng's slightly smiling expression and quickly edited the text and posted it online. The chairman of Sky Dome Company is young and handsome. I love him so much. Today, Chin Cheung Company is on a strong momentum. Naturally, it attracts a lot of attention on weekdays. Now suddenly there is news. Everyone will naturally pay attention. But Jiang Feng didn't know any of this at the moment. The internet has exploded. I would like to call him the youngest chairman of the board of directors in Shanghai. What a beautiful face. This is what the stars on TV look like. I heard that this chairman spent 2 billion to buy a company. Various opinions began to ferment rapidly. But most of them are full of praise. These are good news. It also brought a lot of good benefits to Chin Cheung Company. By the time Jiang Feng reacted, the company's stock has been driven up by many girls who are attracted by his good looks. Just when Jiang Feng felt that it was a bit exaggerated, Lin Li suddenly rushed in from outside. Chairman, something bad has happened. Chapter 23 Accidental Discharge. Chairman, something bad has happened. Lin Li rushed in from outside in a rare hurry. There was still a hint of anxiety on his face. What's wrong? Jiang Feng's heart skipped a beat for unknown reason. I had a bad feeling. Looking at Jiang Feng's serious expression, Lin Li held Jiang Feng's face seriously. The soft and boneless little hand suddenly touched. Jiang Feng's body suddenly stiffened. But it was the first time that Lin Li lost her composure like this. Jiang Feng still did not choose to dodge. Look directly at the other person. Lin Li looked at Jiang Feng's face from left to right. Finally, he let go. That's actually it. Why do those people on the internet say that you look like Xiao? What? Hearing this, Jiang Feng was also a little confused. So you can't say it. Just because someone said I look like Xiao. He gritted his teeth and almost squeezed out these words from between his teeth. Yes. With your looks. It is very easy to be attacked by Xiao's fans. Your image will definitely be tarnished by then. Is this a good thing? Lin Li said it as a matter of course. Jiang Feng felt speechless. I didn't expect that Lin Li would still be so girlish one day. Besides, what happened to his looks? Obviously, he is not inferior to Mr. Xiao, okay? Jiang Feng is still very confident about his appearance. Compared to exposure on the internet, major newspapers and media outlets also followed suit. For a while, news about Jiang Feng was everywhere. A very capable young talent. Jiang Feng, a first-generation rich man with a net worth of over 100 million, who is no more than 30 years old. All kinds of news bombarded me. As a result, even if you are not in the Magic City, many foreign companies also know about it. The fact that the chairman of Chin Cheung Company is called Jiang Feng. In response to this, Jiang Feng said that he just wanted to keep a low profile. So Lin Li was arranged to secretly ask the newspaper to suppress the news. But internet people are just a gust of wind. The wind has passed, and no one cares who Jiang Feng is anymore. But some people don't care, but some people care a lot. For example, Minister Liu, who is currently serving his sentence in prison. He also saw the news by accident. Looking at the vivid characters in the newspaper, a hint of bitterness escaped from the corner of Minister Liu's mouth. Just at this moment, someone was discussing this matter. Don't be fooled by his bookish appearance, he is actually quite capable. Look at his full forehead and excellent facial features. He will definitely have a bright future. The others who had seen the newspaper were talking in low voices. After all, life in prison is too hard to bear. I usually just read the newspaper to kill time. Little did they know. Their words were like a sharp blade at this moment. It pierced deeply into Minister Liu's heart. If I could go back in time, he would never offend Jiang Feng. Maybe not to offend Jiang Feng. He is still the glorious Minister Liu. Instead of every visiting time now, no one wants to come to Mr. Liu. Compared to Minister Liu's misery, Zhang Hao's situation wasn't much better. A few days ago, I was cyberbullied in Shanghai. He was fired straight away and sent home. I originally planned to find a job in Shanghai. As a result, when he went to the construction site to carry bricks, people disliked him because he was too thin. I can't do any heavy work. In desperation, he could only return to his hometown. I originally thought that I could rely on my own abilities. It should be easy to get a basic salary of 4,000 or 5,000. After a round of interviews, no company is willing to accept a new employee with a damaged image. Sometimes you encounter HR with a bad temper. They would even directly ridicule him. In desperation, Zhang Hao could only lie down at home and enjoy his retirement. I hope that after a while, when the limelight has died down, I can go out and find another way to make a living. But he didn't expect that when he was reading the news in Shanghai. I actually saw Jiang Feng. He is actually the chairman of the Sky Dome Company. When Zhang Hao saw the news, his first reaction was shock. How is this possible? Even though others don't know Jiang Feng's background, he knows it very well. In the past, Jiang Feng was not even qualified to sit at the table to eat. There are always only leftovers. Now he is the chairman. Zhang Hao thought this was all a joke. Unconvinced, he continued his search. Not surprisingly, I found that the Qinqiong company had only been established for a few years. But the capital is strong. Jiang Feng even invested 2 billion to buy this company. 2 billion. This is a sum of money that Zhang Hao could never earn in his lifetime. If I had known this, why would I have offended him for $100,000? Zhang Hao regretted so much that his intestines turned green. But soon, he realized a problem. He has no job now. Jiang Feng is so rich. If he could help himself. Is he still worried about not being able to gain a foothold in the Magic City? Thinking of this, Zhang Hao hurriedly searched for Qinqiong Company's contact information. Through various means, I finally got a hold of the chairman's office phone number. But at this time Jiang Feng was still looking at the documents. Lin Li next to her glanced at the number casually. It must be another harassing phone call. Having said that, she hung up the phone without hesitation and set up a blacklist. Zhang Hao holds on to the last glimmer of hope. The language for an apology had already been organized. But the only response he got was the system beep. Zhang Hao tried to call again, but the call was hung up. Zhang Hao immediately realized that he had been blocked. If I had known earlier, I would not have offended Jiang Feng. Zhang Hao was enveloped by boundless regret. But Jiang Feng knew nothing about these things. At this stage, he had asked Song Rantian to transfer all his property to the company. Then we need to be on guard against Song Rantian. This shameless old fox is probably going to turn things back. To be on the safe side, he asked Lin Li to help him make an appointment with a lawyer. Coincidentally, Qian He, the most outstanding young lawyer in Longhua, is in Shanghai. To be honest, Qian He is a talented person. Graduated from the International Law University, familiar with the laws of various countries. He had already gained considerable fame during his sophomore year. After graduation, he established his own law firm. In less than 3 years, it has become famous in various countries. After Lin Li knew the news, I told Jiang Feng immediately. Qian He. Jiang Feng doesn't know much about lawyers. But after searching on the internet, I immediately realized that this person was not simple. Please help me arrange a meeting with him. In order to show his sincerity, Jiang Feng decided to meet the other party in person. It's not easy to arrange this, Qian He. I don't think it will work out. Lin Li originally wanted to persuade Jiang Feng not to have too much confidence. But she dared not disobey her boss's orders. Just after this call was made, the other party picked up the call quickly. Hello, I am Lin Li, secretary to the chairman of Qinqiong Company. Our chairman wants to date you. Lin Li introduced herself skillfully. Just when I was about to state my purpose, a young man's voice came from the other end of the phone. Want to have dinner? I'm hungry. Chapter 24 Meeting Qian He. In a secluded little restaurant in the imperial capital. This restaurant only serves 3 tables of guests a day. There is no menu. What to eat is entirely up to the chef. The price is also very good. A meal costs 99,900. Jiang Feng didn't expect that Qian He would invite him to dinner here. This really surprised him. But he still took Lin Li to the appointment. The decoration style looks simple but is actually full of thought. Jiang Feng entered the restaurant with unspeakable thoughts in his mind. Led by the waiter, he went up to the 2nd floor. There was a man in a suit not far away. A man of about 30 was sitting there. I noticed some movement coming from the stairs. Qian He stood up, straightened his clothes, and extended his hand. Hello, I'm Qian He, nice to meet you, Chairman Jiang. Looking at the young lawyer in front of him who was well known in Longhua at a young age, Jiang Feng inexplicably felt a sense of closeness. Hello. He stretched out his hand and shook hands with Qian He. The boss came up at this time. She is a very beautiful female boss. She has a graceful figure and picturesque features. Dear guests, if everyone is here. Our chef has already started preparing. Liu Rumei spoke with a faint smile. The tone is gentle and natural, making people feel like they are in the spring breeze. Let's get ready. Qian He responded naturally. Jiang Feng sat down. Lin Li next to them took out the contract they signed with the Song Group. He took the initiative to hand it to Qian He. Although I know this is a bit presumptuous. But we don't have much time, so we'll have to trouble lawyer Qian. Lin Li spoke very politely. Qian He didn't say much. He took the contract directly and read it carefully. Jiang Feng was actually very confident when he did this. But the Song Group's legal team is no pushover. In order to avoid loopholes, the net can be closed faster. He thought it would be better to be cautious. This contract is perfect and can extend a lot. Qian He picked up the contract, put it on the table and began to explain it in detail. This contract appears to be a contract of cooperation between 2 parties. But it restrained the Song Group. The entire project must be completed before you can get all the money. If the Song Group fails halfway, it will have to pay 10 times the compensation. And Qinqiong Company only needs to pay an initial payment of 30 million. On the surface, it appears that payments are made on schedule. After reaching the agreed time, Sky Dome Company will need to pay part of the payment. But this agreement is more sophisticated. Strictly speaking, it depends on whether you are qualified or not and whether the deadline has been reached. All of this is decided by Qinqiong Company. In this way, all the initiative is in Jiang Feng's hands. The Song Group is the meat on the chopping board. At the mercy of others. Jiang Feng originally felt unsure. After hearing these words, I felt a lot more at ease. There's nothing I can do. I'm not a professional and I can't think of anything that's too detailed. It seems that the lawyer who made the contract for you before was very experienced. Why did you suddenly think of looking for an outside lawyer? Qian He's words are very pertinent. The lawyer is a female lawyer who recently took maternity leave. The return date is not yet determined, but our contract is quite urgent. You also know that the Song Group is not very honest. Lin Li next to her said bluntly. And such a big contract. Isn't it safer to hire more lawyers? As a secretary, Lin Li speaks very tactfully. There is no loophole to be found. After hearing this explanation, Qian He nodded slightly. If you entrust me to handle this contract for you, in consideration of the interests of both parties, we need to sign a commission agreement. He spoke in a very official manner. According to the agreement, he needs to take a 5% commission. No problem. Jiang Feng signed readily. Just at this time, the boss came over with the carefully prepared lobster. First dish, lobster sashimi. After placing the dishes in front of everyone, Rumei chuckled and distributed tableware to everyone. This is the red wine delivered to you. It's homemade. Please try it. While speaking, Liu Rumei took out the decanted red wine and poured it for everyone. The taste is soft and slightly bitter. But after careful tasting, there is a sweet aftertaste. It tastes good. Jiang Feng gave a pertinent comment. After being praised, Liu Rumei smiled faintly, thanked him, and went to the kitchen. Qian He raised his glass and said to Jiang Feng, "Then I wish us a pleasant cooperation. It's a pleasure to work with you." Jiang Feng drank it all in one gulp, very generously. This also made Qian He more optimistic about him. In fact, the day before yesterday, the Song Group signed the contract. I secretly looked for him and tried to turn the tide. But Qian He had already seen through Jiang Feng's shrewdness from the contract. Good birds choose the right trees to roost in, doesn't he it? Qian He smiled slightly. Everyone enjoyed the meal very much. After eating and drinking, Lin Li went to pay the bill. It was only a short time since I walked out. Then I saw Lin Li running over hurriedly again. "Chairman, Song Rantian is just as you expected. I plan to transfer the property that was transferred into the company's name back." This information was given by Lin Li's informant. According to Song Rantian's character, this operation is easy. And there is nothing worth lamenting. However, Qian He next to him was very enthusiastic. "We can use this contract as a basis to request property preservation." What he said just happened to coincide with what Jiang Feng said. Spit out something. How can it be so easy to give it back to him? Isn't it disgusting? Then I'll leave it to Lawyer Qian. Jiang Feng signaled Lin Li to hand the contract to Qian He. "Don't worry, I promise to make it perfect for you." Qian He took the contract and drove his beloved car. Left here quickly. On the other side, the Song Group. Song Rantian sat in his office with a gloomy face. He transferred his property to the company overnight yesterday. Why is no one saying anything? Now he wants to transfer the things back to his name. As a result, all these monsters and demons came out. "Boss Song, this company's things belong to everyone. You want to turn back silently. At least you have to give us some according to the company's shares." The person who was speaking had a pointed face and was Song Rantian's cousin Song Haoqian. "This is originally mine, why should I share it with you?" Song Rantian's face looked grim and he ordered them to leave. "Brother, please don't make any rash plans. Go back early and take a shower and go to bed." Hearing this, Song Haoqian was not angry. But before leaving, he left a sentence. "You are so unkind to us brothers. I hope you won't regret it later. If there comes a day when you come to me for help, he." Listening to the other party's arrogant words, Song Rantian simply threw the documents on the table towards the door. "These people are so shameless. How dare you covet my things? Sooner or later, I will make you pay the price," he roared. As soon as he finished speaking, his secretary rushed in from outside. "Oh no. Chapter 25 Asset Freeze. Oh no, something happened to the chairman." The secretary hurried in from outside with an anxious look on his face. This secretary has worked for Song Rantian for many years. He has always acted prudently and has never lost his composure like this. "What's going on? You're so irritable." Song Rantian was already a little angry, so he spoke rudely. The secretary then realized that he had behaved inappropriately. "I could only stand there and adjust my clothes." Then he walked respectfully to Song Rantian and whispered, "Boss Song, Qinqiang Company is using the contract as an excuse. All the company's South real estate and available liquid funds have been frozen." After these words were spoken, even Song Rantian could no longer sit still. He stood up in a flash. "What did you say?" He originally had 200 million in liquid funds in his name. In order to prevent Jiang Feng from dividing the money, he transferred all of it to the company's name. The result was frozen. Doesn't this mean that he has no way out? What does the other party want? Song Rantian almost uttered those few words through gritted teeth. He didn't expect Jiang Feng's speed to be so fast and so amazing. An incredible idea popped up in his mind. Could it be that Jiang Feng had already planned this since the time they made the bet? I know for sure that he won't give the money to others for nothing. Nor would I trust Lin Meili. The end result is that the money is transferred to the company's name. It can even be said that they had been plotting against him since the signing of the contract. How could this kid be so scheming? Song Ran was so angry that he almost flipped the table. A little kid in his 20s who hasn't even fully grown any hair. In just a short period of time. He, Song Rantian, had plotted against him to this extent. Not only that. Our company has a loan that is due soon. The employees also need to be paid. The secretary looked at Song Rantian's anxious expression and continued. These words are like adding fuel to the fire. Bank loans are no joke. A loan becomes due if it is not repaid on time. The bank will not hesitate to recover all outstanding debts. In other words, the crisis of the Song Group is imminent. Fortunately, he was still optimistic and thought there were still 3 months left. Now it seems that he has been pushed into a dead end. Before, our company paid wages on the 15th. Today is already the 15th. The people below are already starting to stir. As far as I know, if we can't pay the salary today, at least 1/3 of the people must leave. And they will come to the company through labor arbitration. It will be even more difficult when the time comes. All the banks that hear this news. We will definitely recover the money as soon as possible. The secretary continued to speak nearby. But every word is like an extremely sharp knife. It stabbed him hard in the heart. Why didn't you say so earlier? Song Rantian got angry at the secretary. I thought you transferred the funds to the company. We can mobilize 50 million to fill these gaps. But now. They had discussed this matter before. Hear the news. Song Rantian only felt that his eyes were suddenly darkening for no apparent reason. Song Haoqian and Jiang Feng teaming up to harm me. He immediately suspected everyone around him. This situation didn't happen half an hour ago. It was because Song Haoqian stayed a little longer. He failed to transfer his property in time. It's useless, even if Director Song isn't here. After you transfer your property, the other party can also ask for the money to be recovered. And you will also be charged with intentionally transferring hidden property. Directly sued by the other party. The secretary spoke very bluntly to the furious Song Rantian. Oh. Song Rantian laughed out of anger. All of my fantasies were shattered by the cruel reality. The pressure made it almost impossible for him to breathe. How much money does the company need now? He didn't dare to waste time. At least 50 million. The secretary said the number. Song Rantian's body suddenly went limp and he almost collapsed to the ground. This action frightened the secretary so much that he quickly supported the other person. Mr. Song, you must hold on. Otherwise, the Song Group will really be handed over to Qinqiang Company. After these words were spoken, Song Rantian finally came back to his senses. Does Jiang Feng think he can defeat me like this? His Song Group has been established for many years and has countless partners. Naturally, he also has ways to make money. Give me my phone, I want to make a call. Song Rantian decided immediately, no matter what means he had to use. We must gather this money together. The secretary didn't dare to delay and handed the phone over directly. Song Rantian took a deep breath to calm the anger in his chest. I picked up my phone and called my closest partner first. Boss son, it's me, Song Rantian. Oh, it's Mr. Song. What can I do for you? The other party's tone was relatively mild. Song Rantian suddenly felt hopeful and spoke quickly. It's like this, the Song Group has been having some troubles lately. Before he could finish, the other party couldn't wait to interrupt him. The Song Group has just cooperated with the Sky Dome Company. How can you have no money? You must be a fake. After saying that, the other party hung up the phone. Song Rantian's heart skipped a beat and he quickly called again. But there was only a female voice speaking mechanically. Sorry, the number you dialed is busy. He was blocked. Song Rantian just felt a lump of air in his chest. But there is no way, raising money is important. He immediately dialed another number. This is the friend he often plays golf with. Mr. Lee, are you busy? He tried to make his tone sound calmer. The result was just a cry of surprise from the other side. Song Rantian? You want to borrow money, right? I don't have any. After saying that, the other party hung up the phone again. News spreads fast in this circle. The news that Song Rantian called to borrow money spread quickly. Almost everyone knew the news. Song Rantian was blacklisted immediately. These days, it is easy to add icing on the cake, but difficult to provide timely assistance. They are all a bunch of villains. Wait for the day when I, Song Rantian, will turn things around. I will never let you go. Song Rantian made more than 10 calls but failed to get through. He slammed the phone on the table fiercely and yelled. The secretary next to him saw him getting so angry. Mr. Song, don't get angry yet. It's more important to find a solution. The secretary kindly reminded me. Song Rantian looked at him angrily. What else can I do? He contacted everyone he could. Bow down to the Sky Company. Absolutely not. He would never agree to this matter. That bastard wants to stand on his head and shit. He won't agree. The worst that can happen is bankruptcy and liquidation. Song Rantian looked like he was determined to fight to the death. The secretary made up his mind and suggested the last solution. Then only way is. Chapter 26 Red River Company. Then we can only look for the mortal enemy of the Sky Dome Company. Red River Company helped. Red River. Hearing this name, Song Rantian's eyes suddenly lit up. How could he have forgotten this? Hong Her Company and Chincheong Company have the same business. It's a mortal enemy. If Chincheong Company really takes over the Song Group, this is extremely unfavorable for Hong Her Company. Help me contact the CEO of Red River Company. He gave the order immediately. The secretary breathed a sigh of relief when he saw Song Rantian regaining his spirits. After all, now that Song Rantian is in trouble, he won't have a good life. The other side. In front of Chincheong Company. I saw a middle-aged woman who was dressed up carefully being stopped by the front desk. What can I do for you? The receptionist asked patiently. This lady looks like a decent person. As a result, he walked in without caring about anything. You can tell at first glance that he is not a good person. She couldn't just let it in like that. How dare you stop me? Do you know who I am? Lin Meili looked arrogant. He looked down on people. I am your chairman's mother. My own child. Believe it or not, I will have my son fire you in a minute. Such a swaggering look. I thought no one knew who she was. After all, it was a hot topic on the internet before. Lin Meili's face is not blurred. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. The receptionist showed no sign of timidity. After all, she knew very well who she was. Lin Meili didn't expect a small receptionist. He didn't respond to any persuasion in front of her. I was so angry that I was speechless. He pointed to the front desk with his carefully maintained hand. I shivered for a long time and couldn't utter a complete sentence. At this moment, the company's elevator suddenly opened. Jiang Feng and Lin Li came out together. Lin Meili, who was originally very aggressive. See your son. He immediately restrained his domineering look. Looking so pitiful. He ran over quickly. Fenger, my good son. It's all your mother who owes you in the past. But no matter what, I am your mother. Now even your company's watchdog dares to do this to me. Lin Meili originally planned to complain. Jiang Feng just gave her an indifferent look. The front desk really shouldn't have stopped you. His light words. Success ignited Lin Meili's hope. Could it be that this son still has her in his heart? That is. In my opinion, we should just fire her. Lin Meili became more and more demanding. The receptionist's face turned pale instantly. She didn't understand what she had done wrong. But facing the chairman, she didn't dare to refute at all. Clinker the next moment. The reversal occurred. Next time you meet someone like this, just call the security guards over and kick them out. Jiang Feng spoke the rest of the words slowly. Lin Meili's originally proud face suddenly turned pale. It seemed that she didn't expect that her son would lose face for her. Jiang Feng. She almost shouted through gritted teeth. No matter what, it can't be changed. The fact that you crawled out of my belly. This is also the only capital she can rely on. Giving birth to a child but not raising him, Madame Song is becoming more and more shameless. You actually have the nerve to threaten me with this matter. Jiang Feng snorted coldly. He didn't take Lin Meili seriously at all. Just at this time, the front desk responded. He quickly walked to his seat. Without hesitation, I called security. Kick this woman out. Wait until the security arrives. The receptionist pointed at Lin Meili and said. Lin Meili's face suddenly turned pale. Even though the Song Group has declined now, she is also Jiang Feng's mother. Jiang Feng, are you just going to watch others humiliate me like this? Lin Meili set her eyes on Jiang Feng. I hope this child can save her face. Were you hired as security guards just to show off? Jiang Feng ignored Lin Meili. The security guards were standing there looking at each other in bewilderment. They quickly carried Lin Meili outside, one on each side. Lin Meili has lived a life of luxury for decades. When have you ever been humiliated like this? Jiang Feng, even if you want to drive me away, you have to listen to what I have to say. Lin Meili knew that some things should not be said anymore. There is no chance. It doesn't matter what you do to me. But you can't target the Song family like this. Your brother is still in the hospital. It will cost a lot of money. The subtext is, there is no more Song family. Song Ming's life was no longer guaranteed. What if I say I support you? Will you also give up that seed without hesitation? Jiang Feng's eyes were full of sarcasm. There was a sneer on the corner of his mouth. I totally looked down on Lin Meili's behavior. Do you really think he is a soft persimmon? Jiang Feng, you. Lin Meili's face turned from blue to pale. Now all of Song Rantian's property has nothing to do with her. Those were all she had left. It's costing a lot now. If Jiang Feng is unwilling to let go, then she would really be desperate. Rather than having to go through those hard times again. Lin Meili gritted her teeth. Since you are unkind, you can't blame me for being unjust. After saying, she shook off the security guard's hand. Sat directly outside Qinqiang Company. No matter his own image. Just sit on the ground and cry your heart out. My own son is trying to kill me. He's cornered me. He is such a heartless person. In short, all kinds of nasty words were cursed out. Qinqiang Company was originally located in the city center. There were quite a few pedestrians passing by. Qinqiang Company is now a hot new star. Naturally, it attracted a lot of attention. Lin Meili did this. Just want to take advantage of public opinion. This forced Qinqiang Company to be unable to deal with the Song family. If it were an ordinary person, she would really be able to control you. But for Jiang Feng, apart from being an eyesore, there's nothing much to it. How about I have her taken away? Lin Li naturally saw that Jiang Feng was unhappy. Subconsciously, he wanted to share Jiang Feng's worries. Fine. Isn't it just crying, making a scene and then hanging yourself? If she really had the energy to hang herself, I really don't mind paying for her funeral expenses. Jiang Feng sneered. He totally ignored Lin Meili's behavior outside. How could she look like a noble lady at all? She's totally acting like a shrew. And Lin Meili's true face is now known to everyone. She is so noisy. Maybe it will bring him unexpected gains. At this time, Song Ran of Hongher Company was successfully contacted through the secretary. He had no idea that his wife had gone to the company to make trouble. He now wanted very much to grasp this last straw. After agreeing on a time, I couldn't wait to leave. But will Red River Company help him? Chapter 27 just beginning. Compared to Song Rantian, who was uneasy at this time, Lin Meili is at the entrance of Qinqiang Company. He tried every possible means to throw a tantrum. Be utterly shameless. The pedestrians around who originally wanted to eat melons couldn't bear to watch it anymore. If you are really right, just sue him. That's right, we are now in a society ruled by law. Only the elderly people who don't usually go online can be fooled. The rest of the young people. Naturally, I could tell who Lin Meili was at a glance. It was quite lively a few nights ago. Jiang Feng didn't care about any of this. Instead, he found a place to sit down with great interest. Drink tea leisurely. Looking at Lin Meili's expensive clothes covered in dust on the ground. That kind of embarrassment. It made him think of the past involuntarily. He has nothing. Forced by this woman and Song Rantian, I could only eat instant noodles. I worked hard for a month but received no salary. Fired for no reason. I have no home to return to and can only curl up in the corridor. Various past events emerged in his mind. If it is not the system, he might actually be crushed. I don't even have a kidney. This life is just like this. You may also be despised by others. Like a rat crossing the street. I can only do the lowest level work at the construction site. And there were also Song Rantian's threatening words to him. It's still ringing in my ears in a trance. Sooner or later, Jiang Feng will disappear from the world. Think about it now. Jiang Feng could feel the chill in his body. Get her a bottle of water. I'm watching a great show. Jiang Feng said with a sneer. Isn't Lin Meili a person who despises the poor and loves the rich? Aren't you concerned about your own face? Now he wants Lin Meili to lose face. By the way, remember to record it with a video recorder. This is very good material. Doesn't Lin Meili like playing with the media? Then let everyone see how worthless she is. At this time, Lin Meili had no idea what Jiang Feng was thinking. She watched as someone from Skydome Company brought her water. Hope suddenly appeared in his eyes. Has your chairman figured it out? Her voice was a little hoarse from shouting for a long time. It sounds like gravel rubbing against each other. It sounds very unpleasant. Lin Li smiled gently. The chairman said he hadn't seen enough. So you can't stop. As soon as these words came out, Lin Meili, who had originally planned to give up, suddenly exploded. What the hell is he? You treat your own mother like a monkey, don't you? Crows know how to repay their parents. He is worse than an animal. Lin Meili immediately cursed out all kinds of nasty words. The shrewish nature in her bones has not been lost at all. Been pretending to be a big shot for so many years. Finally revealed his true colors. Please continue. Lin Li had a sneer on her face. With a wave of hand. Then I saw the company's media department coming out with cameras. 8 seats, guaranteed to satisfy you. After Lin Li finished speaking, she went straight into the company. Facing so many cameras. Lin Meili has so many ideas. At this point I could only remain silent. But she looked miserable, like a shrew. It was still filmed. Moreover, Jiang Feng sent this thing directly to the Song Group. And speak out on the internet. In the case of formal cooperation, the Song Group is still operating in violation of regulations like this. It then ends with a lawyer's letter. This indicates that litigation may be initiated at any time. Song Rantian was on his way to Hong Her Company at this time. I was originally thinking if I could convince the president of Hong Her Company today, all problems can be solved. But he didn't expect that he hadn't arrived at Hong Her Company yet. I received a message from the Public Relations Department. I saw a lot of scolding on the internet. Song Rantian's eyes suddenly went dark and he wished he could faint. This woman is always causing trouble but can't do anything good. To avoid losing face, Song Rantian suppressed his anger and made a phone call. At this time, Lin Meili was in a very awkward position facing the camera. Hearing the phone ringing was like grabbing a life-saving straw. I answered the call immediately without hesitation. In the end, he still hadn't spoken. Then I heard Song Rantian yelling on the phone. Isn't that embarrassing enough? Hear this. Lin Meili shuddered all over. He stood up quickly. He also ignored the contentious looks from the people around him. He went home in a panic, carrying his bag. She hadn't expected these methods. Not only did it fail to help the Song Group escape from the crisis, instead, it brought even greater suffering. Jiang Feng watched Lin Meili leave. I just felt that the anger in my heart was relieved a lot. You can't stand it just at the beginning. A cold light flashed in Jiang Feng's eyes. On the other side, Song Rantian hung up the phone. The driver has also driven the car to the downstairs of Hong Her Company. To maintain a good image, Song Rantian deliberately tidied up his clothes. After confirming there is no problem, only then did he walk into the Hong Her Company calmly. The front desk of Hong Her Company stopped him immediately. Sir, do you have an appointment? Yes, my secretary called President Mu. Song Rantian tried his best to act calmly. But he knew it very well in his heart. This is just a face-saving measure. Today, Hong Her Company has become the savior of the Song Group. If this road is broken, there is absolutely no hope for him. When the front desk heard this, they could only call to confirm. When I learned that the other party was Mr. Song from the Song Group, there was inevitably a hint of contempt in his eyes. It turns out to be Mr. Song. There was a hint of sarcasm in her words. Song Rantian also heard the sarcasm in the words. But when you are under someone's roof, you have to bow your head. He could only swallow this anger. But the front desk didn't make it too difficult. Told Song Rantian that the president's office is on the 13th floor. Song Rantian didn't delay and went straight to the elevator entrance to wait for the elevator. Soon, he arrived at the office of Mu Honghai, the president of Hong Her Company. After opening the door and entering, then I saw Mu Honghai sitting at his desk. When he saw Song Rantian, a smile appeared on his face. What brought Mr. Song here? Although he spoke politely. But Song Rantian noticed that the other person was sitting on a chair. He didn't even get up. I totally looked down on him. In the past. Who dares to do this to him? Now the Song family is almost gone. As a free person, shouldn't I come out for a stroll? Song Rantian gave a wry smile. Mu Honghai sat up straight as expected. When the secretary called me earlier, I thought I had misheard. I didn't expect that Mr. Song has reached this point now. It is not difficult to hear the gloating in these words. Although Hong Her Company did not have any enmity with the Song family. But the market competition is fierce. Kicking someone when they are down is the norm. In the past, Song Rantian had already slammed the table and left. But now he didn't dare. It's Song's own problem. But President Mu can't just stand by and watch someone die. Song Rantian was humble and submissive. Mu Honghai seemed unmoved.